The NFL on Fox from Tampa, Florida. A great day to be in America and a great day for the NFL to continue kickoff weekend 2011. Temperature will hit the 90s, and that humidity, it feels a lot worse. The heat index down on the field could be over 110 by the time the Lions and the Bucs work through things. Detroit has won the coin toss and elected to receive with Tim Ryan, Chris Myers. Let's check in with Jennifer Hale down on the field.
Guys, it certainly is on here. Heat and humidity are going to be a major factor. Hydration is key tonight. Tampa started hydrating their players on Friday. They say, hey, if you waited until yesterday, that's way too long in temperatures like this. The Lions sideline have those misting fans going. One of the refs told me last year this time he lost 12 pounds on the sidelines. Tampa's prepared for their players to lose about 8. They've got IVs on both sides of the sidelines ready to go in case someone cramps. Guys?
Thanks, Jennifer. Stay cool out there as Michael Kanan, free agent signee from the Atlanta Falcons, ready to kick off from the 35.
Chris, and I played down here in the heat in the early month of September in the opener, and it is brutal, and the heat index will be a factor. And if officials are losing 10 and they're expecting their players to lose 8 to 10, the linemen are losing 20. Will definitely be a factor. Look for big rotations, especially on the defensive lines for both teams.
So Kanan to boot it. Back for the Detroit Lions, Stephon Logan, the only player to rank in the top 5 in kickoff and punt returns. Logan did have a kickoff return for a touchdown against the Rams last year. How will the Bucs play it? Drive it through the end zone or kick it high? A dramatic moment here. There's not a lot of wind. We'll say the humidity knocked that ball over. It's thick. The tension a little thick to get things started. Two teams anxious to get going, and a lot of emotion on this field and around NFL stadiums and across America everywhere today.
And frankly, a lot of expectation for both of these two teams. I'm curious to see how either team handles the hype of the offseason. You got to play loose to handle the hype.
2011 underway for the Bucs and Lions, and it'll be a touchback. So Detroit will take over at the 20-yard line, and 23-year-old Matthew Stafford, his goal to play a full season and coming back to his roots, actually born in the Tampa St. Pete area.
And absolutely ripped it up in the preseason. He led the NFL in quarterback rating, but it is preseason football, and he understands that. Here's his skilled guys that he's going to. Of course, Calvin Johnson, the big one. I expect Nate Burleson to have some very favorable matchups. Offensive line, Jeff Backus still in the grind. He and Dominic Raiola.
So Javed Best, the lone back. Calvin Johnson on the right side. On 1st and 10, and it is Best who carries. And Javed Best with a healthy run up near a Detroit Lion first down before Cody Grimm brought him down from his safety spot. A 9-yard pickup as we check the Tampa Bay defense.
Yeah, and Michael Bennett is the guy that I'm going to have my eyes on. Everybody will recognize the name of Gerald McCoy. Watch Michael Bennett and see if they do hurry up to keep Mason Foster on the field like they're doing right now.
And that's what they thought about doing. They did it well in the preseason. On 2nd down 1, Best carries. 1st down Lions. Javed Best, who led all rookies last year in combined yardage from scrimmage, passing and receiving, battled a little turf toe, had a concussion in the preseason.
Yeah, this guy can absolutely fly. Now, you're not going to see him run from a lot of the traditional close sets with the two tight ends or the big tight end and the fullback. Most of his running lanes and success is going to come like it is here when they're a little bit spread out offensively to give him space to run.
Fresh set of downs after 2 runs. Nickelback in for the Bucs on defense. They fake to Burleson. Stafford completes to Javed Best. We just talked about his running and his catching. He has another Lion first down.
And that's exactly what I was talking about with Javed Best. And you get him in space, and what you do first is you get the defense going in one direction with a little fake. Watch the defense all react this way. Then Best will leak out and get behind him his offensive line. Watch the white jerseys as they start to just flash back inside when they see that fake. And, of course, Best, who has got big-time heat and can absolutely fly in space. He's hard to deal with.
After a gain of 14, Maurice Morris checks in. Best with a breather. Will Heller in as the H-back tight end. Morris carries. And this time, the Bucs smother him. 3 Tampa Bay defenders swarming, and Quincy Black led the charge.
And Gerald McCoy is the guy that I'll have my eye on today for this defensive line. A big part of making that play right there as he got in the gap between the guard and the tackle and got good penetration. I'm telling you, the excitement for him with now the addition of Keith Millard coaching him, who was great at that position. Jim McCoy is going to have a big year this year in the National Football League.
So first defensive stop for the Bucs. No gain. Second down 10. Opening drive for the Lions. They've moved it well. Morris remains the back. Stafford's pass complete. That's Calvin Johnson. Inside 42 of Tampa Bay. Another Lion first down. An impressive opening drive.
Well, and that's what Matthew Stafford can do when he's controlling the tempo at the line of scrimmage. And we've seen him jump in the huddle, out of the huddle, doing some hurry up. And when you look at Stafford, it's amazing. The guy's only had 13 starts. He's in his third year, Chris. Jim Schwartz said he's the smartest quarterback he's ever been around to be able to get him in and out of the huddle in all of these situations like a true veteran.
After a gain of 11, Calvin Johnson, 61 straight games with a catch. First down, Detroit. And this time they do hand to Burleson. And he goes down the sideline inside the 22-yard line of Tampa Bay before rookie middle linebacker Mason Foster ran him down. And how about the way Stafford's moving this team without a lot of crowd noise? This is not a sellout affecting his game.
No, he is obviously picked up right where he left off in the preseason with efficiency. And you're going to see Nate Burleson come around this way. Keep your eye on 89 as he's going to get some really good blocks on this play. Adrian Claiborne can't run with him. There's the block. Will Heller down the field that springs Burleson for a few extra yards.
Gain of 20. Job at best back in. Stafford under pressure for the end zone and out of bounds towards Calvin Johnson, where Aqib Talib will be on him like glue all day.
And remember last year, Talib didn't play in that game where Detroit came in here and won it and really essentially knocked Tampa out of the playoffs. Talib didn't play in the game. Calvin did. 10 catches for 152 yards. Premier receiver against premier cornerback. This one should be a lot of fun to watch. Calvin Johnson has caught a pass in every game he's played in as a pro. Nate Burleson splits out on the left. Calvin Johnson on the right. Second down and 10 for Stafford. To job at best. Knifing his way down to the 11-yard line. Good enough for another Lion first down as Geno Hayes from his linebacker spot made the tackle. I mean, you cannot allow Job at best to get in space like this. I want you to watch this area of the field right here as Stafford pumps right and then comes back to the left. I mean, there's just nobody out there on the flank for Job at best. That's easy. That's pitch and catch, Chris.
Keeping the tempo up as a penalty flag flies. Stafford was quick to get to the line.
Encroachment, number 93, defense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Walt Anderson, our referee, and the call is on Gerald McCoy. That'll move the Lions a little bit closer. They've taken the opening drive, marched down the field deep inside the 10 of the Buccaneers. Titus Young, the rookie, splits out on the left. Calvin Johnson on the right. Extra receivers in for Stafford.
Watch Nate Burleson here.
Best is hammered right at the line and knocked back by Bryant Price.
Boy, it's good to get him in the lineup. You see his flash right there, 92. You see that number? That's what he did at UCLA, was pure, full-blown penetration. That dude was the defensive player of the year down there a few years ago. Second-round pick. Catastrophic injuries to his pelvis. He's got 2 hamstrings that are basically screwed to his pelvic bone, and he's out here making plays. Awesome.
A 3-yard loss, 2nd and 8. Stafford. Burleson. Shoved back after he caught the ball at the 5-yard line, which was not good enough initially for a first down. So it'll be a 3rd down play for the Lion offense.
Good job by Matthew Stafford hanging in there and taking a shot. I mean, he's going to get hit here. Michael Bennett, Bryant Price, both converging on him. They rock him right there in the rib cage, and he throws the football right on time. How effortless does Stafford make it look when he's throwing the football just with a flick?
Stafford End zone incomplete. The 11th play of the drive stalls. Geno Hayes was with Brandon Pettigrew.
Well, and Stafford just put that a little bit out in front of him. I think Pettigrew wanted a call on Geno Hayes on his back.
What'd you think?
Very, very good drive. I mean, you obviously, you get that close to the goal line, you want to get a touchdown. But a good drive in terms of the efficiency all the way down the field. Impressed with Matthew Stafford.
20-year veteran Jason Hansen to attempt a 22-yard field goal. Ryan Donahue, the holder. The snap from Don Muehlbach, and the Lions take the opening drive and get points in the heat of Tampa on this special date. The Bucs will get the football with the Lions leading 3-0.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
Thank you. It's bourbon on the rocks. 35-year-old Raheem Morris celebrated his birthday this month. The greatest turnaround in Buccaneer franchise history, from 3 to 10 wins, and started 10 rookies in doing it last year. One of those losses, as Tim Ryan mentioned earlier, was late in December to these Lions, which may have kept the Bucs out of the playoffs and put the Packers in. You know what happened there. Sammy Stroughter back to return deep. Jason Hansen with the kick. Stroughter from his goal line. Sammy Stroughter across midfield. He cuts back and is down at the 20 of the Lions. A 78-yard return.
Yeah, and it's a couple of phase players in terms of, look at Ekachuba right there. Now watch Stovall. He misses the tackle. Those are 4-phase special teams players for the Lions, which mean they play on all their special teams. They're very important. Stroughter went right by Ekachuba and then ran through the arm tackle of the old Buck Maurice Stovall.
So quickly, Josh Freeman gets the Bucs out on the line. And he hands to LeGarrette Blount, the 1,000-yard rusher of a year ago. And Stroughter, a 7th-round draft pick, a backup receiver who's got speed.
Oh, he's got high octane. Watch 50 go running by him there, and then here's the missed tackle by Stovall. And you know special teams, we saw it in the opener at Green Bay against New Orleans. There was a punt return for a touchdown. There was a kick return for a touchdown. Chris, I did the 49ers preseason package. There was returns all over the place. The lockout has certainly affected the special teams core groups as much as it's affected anybody.
And Stovall, an ex-Buccaneer on that Detroit Lions special teams unit. 2nd down 10. Freeman comes the other way to Kellen Winslow. Out of bounds near the 15 of the Lions. Kellen Winslow, the leading receiver for the Bucs the last 2 years, and the cannon fire is what you hear here in Tampa Bay when they get into the red zone. Now 77 consecutive games for Kellen Winslow, catching at least one pass.
I mean, he's had prolific numbers since he's been down here, and Greg Olson, the offensive coordinator, knows just how to use them. Greg has become a darn good play caller here over the last couple of years, having that quarterback Josh Freeman at his disposal with some pretty darn good weapons, including Winslow.
High tip, so Ernest Graham checks into the backfield. On 3rd down, Freeman, this is what he does if he can get away from that Lion rush, and he does not. Stephen Tulloch, the new addition at middle linebacker for the Lions, makes the stop, and it'll be 4th down for the Bucs.
Now, that's a big play by Stephen Tulloch, and that's an area where you look at the Lions, and Jim Schwartz told us that's where they're most improved as a football team. The linebacker position, they needed it. They added Tulloch. They added Justin Durant. That time Tulloch just as a secondary contain guy. In other words, if Freeman breaks the pocket, go get him. That's exactly what he did. Got the big tackle.
Sets up a 38-yard attempt. Connor Barth, who was so clutch last year, especially from long distance, ties the game. And we are tied at 3. The Lions will get to touch the football for the 2nd time today in a moment.
Today's Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some Buds.
Stephon Logan, if he gets the chance, can run one back like Sammy Strotter did for the Bucs to set up a field goal. The Lions and Tampa Bay, each team with a possession, each team with 3.
And I am not kicking to Stephon Logan if I'm Michael Kanan. Forget it. I'm booting that thing out of the end zone. He's got a big leg. He can. A big reason why they got him. Obviously, he's a punter with hang time, but he can punch it deep into the end zone. That little dude right there is one of the better ones in the NFL. Keep the ball out of his hands.
Kanan with a deep kick into the end zone that Logan will down. And so the Lions will start as they did to open the game from the 20-yard line. We'll see what Matthew Stafford can do against the Bucs and their fans.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. By Nissan. Innovation for today, innovation for tomorrow, innovation for all. And by X-Men First Class on Blu-ray and DVD today.
We welcome you back as Gerald McCoy, first round pick of a year ago, got hurt late in the year, and they're expecting big things in the middle. And he'll take out Stephen Peterman throughout the day. But watching here as the Lions go at 1st and 10 from the 20.
There's Talib out there on Calvin again. Manned up.
Quick pass is complete. That's to Tony Sheffer, the tight end. The ball came out at the end, but let's get a game break. Here's Kurt Menefee with an update on the Rams and the Eagles.
Rams, first play from scrimmage on the season. They hand it off to Steven Jackson, and why not? 47 yards on the score, and just like that, they're on top of the Eagles, 7-0 rather quickly. Chris and Tim.
Boy, that's an exciting matchup, Chris. And you look at Steven Jackson, he's still got a lot of juice left, clearly. The addition of Harvey Dahl up front for that offensive line for St. Louis is going to be huge.
Javon Best has provided a lot of juice so far. He's in for the Detroit Lions and carries. Michael Bennett making the stop. So it'll be 3rd down. Now, Mikel LaShore, they drafted to help carry the ball inside, but he had a torn Achilles in the preseason.
Yeah, and that really hurt. Out of Illinois, high pick, and the 235-pound guy that they could put in there and could run between the tackles. And that's an area where Detroit was certainly lacking last year. We're going to see some of Maurice Morris in this game, but they'll miss that big power back Mikel LaShore.
All right, an important early 3rd down. Teams trading barbs. The Lions need 3. Stafford's throw is high and incomplete and intercepted. Picked off. Aqib Talib has a Buccaneer touchdown. On 3rd and 3, a 28-yard interception run back for the gifted corner.
Yeah, and just a bad throw from Matt Stafford. Too high into the outside for Will Heller, and then there's the ball skills of Aqib Talib. It doesn't matter. Deflection, no deflection. When that ball's in the air, nobody goes and gets it better than Aqib Talib. 6 interceptions for him last year, now a pick 6 for the 2011 season. Practice.
Yeah, there's a penalty for excessive celebration. The touchdown is good.
Practice is overrated. I mean, that guy didn't do much all preseason with a hamstring.
Missed games last year and dodged a suspension from the league that we'll find out more about in March when he has a hearing coming up. But the touchdown is good, and all scoring plays reviewed by the officials upstairs communicating as Connor Barth kicks the extra point. And a turnover turned into a score. The 2nd career touchdown return for Talib. The Bucs have the lead.
And Stafford's got to simply get that ball down too high. Bad throw.
Tim Ryan talked about special teams, not only returning kicks, but kick coverage. And this is the trio for the Bucs. Adam Hayward on the left. They gave him a hammer. They call him Thor. He voted the special teams captain. They hope he delivers the knockout blow.
They're going to have to deliver. This is going to be interesting now with the penalty. They're kicking from the 20. So this one certainly, depending on how Kanan kicks it, has an opportunity to be returned by Stephon Logan.
And so far, he has not had a chance with 2 kickoffs going into the end zone. So the 10-3 Buck advantage, and they bounce it. And Connor Barth with an excellent kick.
What a kick.
And again, the Lions will start at the 20. This October, the American League's best teams will look to their brightest stars to see which one will become the newest hero that'll lead them into the Fall Classic. Legends are born in October, and our exclusive coverage of the American League Championship Series, the ALCS, begins October 8th, only on Fox. So the turnover after Stafford on the opening drive was 4 out of 6. Has the Lions in a bit of a hole here in the opening quarter. Job at best carries, maybe a yard or two.
Gerald McCoy with the penetration. I mean, they come out, the Lions, in a 3 tight end set, and watch 93, and this is what he's going to do. He is going to wreak havoc in the backfield. Look at him split that double team and then get the tackle at the line of scrimmage. And that's the stuff Keith Millard is in his ear about. Look, forget about playing the blocks and going horizontal and keeping the linebackers free. Get in the backfield and make some noise.
2nd and 8. Stafford down the middle for Calvin Johnson. First down catch is made. Sean Jones from the safety spot wraps him up.
And the similarities, Chris, and how these teams are built, it's pretty obvious. I mean, they draft the quarterbacks a few years ago, then they come back with the guys that can play defense and rush the passer. Look at these two. 1st and 2nd round, Adrian Claiborne, Daquan Bowers. Draft the guys that can get to the passer.
The Buccaneers are the youngest team in the NFL again. 25 years and 173 days by far across the roster. As best gets a delayed handoff and is knocked down short of the 40. Talib makes the tackle. Again, Stafford is hurrying his team to the line, but then surveying things before he makes the call with the snap.
Well, and think about what that does. I mean, he's getting a snapshot about an extra 20 seconds of what the defense's plan may be in terms of what he's looking at. And are they rolling the safety up? Are they playing in a 4-deep look? Are they pressing up with the corners? When you're at the line of scrimmage, I mean, he's surveying the whole field. He drops that one.
Fumble on 2nd and 8. Right at the 35-yard line. Stafford had to pounce on it to get it back. If he got it back. And it'll be a 3rd down for the Lions and 12.
See if he's got his eyes up. Yeah, he had his eyes up surveying the defense. Exactly what I was just talking about. You saw him lift his eyes, look at the defense. Raiola snapped it, hit him right in the hand.
Stafford completes to Maurice Morris, who has a Lion first down and gets into the Buccaneers side of the field before Talib and Sean Jones bring him down. Reliable Maurice Morris after a gain of 16.
I've always been a fan of Maurice Morris, even when he was in Seattle and then out in Detroit. You know, he rolled on these guys last year, well over 100 yards, and a big part of winning that game here against the Bucs towards the end of the season last year.
He is a player that Jim Schwartz trusts as much as anyone, and it looked like somebody from the Buccaneers jumped. We'll see if the offense drew him off.
Neutral zone infraction, number 93, defense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
So that call on McCoy will give the Lions a 1st and 5. A lot you can do with that.
Playbook wide open here for Matt Stafford. Let's see if they take a shot down the field. This is a perfect opportunity to get one of those deep routes from the numbers to the sidelines on either side.
Job at best splits out as a receiver way on the left. Stafford throws, and falling to the ground and making the catch is Nate Burleson. So a first down. I saw him in pregame warmups. He said, "I'm going to get in the end zone. Give me a shout out."
I think he's going to have a huge year. He is an underrated talent. I mean, I could see him at the end of the season, if healthy. He'll have 60, 80 catches, double-digit touchdowns.
That was a gain of 11 with the coverage Calvin Johnson sees, who was just waving his hand. Stafford high and caught inside the 15-yard line by Brandon Pettigrew. And note the number change. He wanted his old college number 87 and got it. And gives the Lions a first down.
And they got so many options in the passing game, and so many of their guys are versatile. They can run so many formations with the same personnel because guys are interchangeable. Great job by Pettigrew climbing the ladder, going up high to get it.
19-yard pickup, fake to Best. Stafford throws. Burleson slips one tackle but can't get out of the other. Quincy Black over there. It'll be second down.
I'll tell you, that touchdown by Talib earlier reminds me of the old Bucs. I mean, you think of the years when they were really rolling on defense. They were scoring touchdowns. That Super Bowl run, I promise you, down the stretch, there was nobody scoring at a pace defensively like the Tampa Bay Bucs. And, of course, a couple guys still around from that era, Rondé Barber and Raheem Morris.
Even last year, Tim, the Young Buck defense got a few wins that way. On second down. Stafford, end zone, and overthrew Calvin Johnson. It'll be third down. Looked like he had room back there.
Oh, he did. He absolutely had room, and everyone's going to suck in here to Scheffler, believe it or not, on the out route. Calvin is wide open. A lot of times those quarterbacks and the young ones, they get excited and they want to just get that ball out, and the ball ends up coming out early and it sails on them. Matthew Stafford would love to have that one back. Calvin Johnson rarely, Chris, is that wide open in the end zone.
Takes a lot to overthrow him. 6 defensive backs in for the Buccaneers on third down. Stafford, end zone, dropped. Pettigrew had it.
Well, that's a matchup they're going to want to exploit on Rondé Barber on the tight end. Perfect throw. Look at the velocity on this spiral right in the hands. You saw Rondé's hand flash in front of Pettigrew's hand, Rondé Barber, but I don't think he got a hand on the pigskin. Pettigrew just dropped it.
Jason Hanson with his second field goal try. This will be from 28. And again, the rookie punter, the holder, gets it down. The kick does get through. Lions with another field goal. Second straight drive that stalled on a pass to Pettigrew in the end zone. So they settle for 3. The Bucs with a 10-6 advantage here in Tampa Bay. NFL doubleheader on Fox. America's game of the week coming up. Some will see the Vikings and Chargers. Others, the Giants and Redskins. As Preston Parker is back to return, Sammy Strotter, who had the 78-yard kickoff return, has an ankle injury and is questionable. We'll keep an eye on that injury throughout the rest of this game. It also would affect depth at the receiver position for the Bucs. Hanson's kick. And Parker will step out of the back of the end zone. And the Bucs will take over at the 20-yard line. Let's check in down on the field again with Jennifer Hale.
Well, Chris, Tim, 10 years ago today, Tampa coach Raheem Morris was standing on the roof of Hofstra's library watching that second plane crash into the Twin Towers. When I asked him earlier this week what he'll be remembering from the anniversary today, he said it's really the next day, September 12th, that he remembers the most. The American flags that blossomed all across the nation, the way this country pulled together, he says that's the memory that's permanently etched in his mind. Guys?
And a moving ceremony around the league and around the country prior to kickoff here today. Thank you, Jennifer. Freeman on first down, floats one, and incomplete for Mike Williams on the sideline. It'll be second down 10. The NFL is holding a special auction to benefit 9/11 charities. Autographed game-worn jerseys, game balls, other NFL items auctioned to raise money for Tuesday's Children and My Good Deed. Go to NFL.com/auction today to bid on items. Josh Johnson has checked into the game at quarterback, and he hands off to Ernest Graham. And that goes nowhere. It'll be third down. The backup quarterback to Josh Freeman. Let's get a game break from Kurt Menefee.
That went nowhere. This goes everywhere. Jake Cutler. No screen pass to Matt Forte. This all set up by Brian Urlacher's interception against the Falcons, and Forte bouncing off guys and bouncing all the way to the end zone for a 56-yard score and a 7-point lead over Atlanta. Chris and Tim.
Tell you, with all the guys getting paid around the league over the last couple days, it's time for Jerry Angelo to pay that guy right there. And Matt Forte, he is a terrific player.
So Josh Freeman back in at quarterback. Strange maneuver on second down. It's third down. The pass complete to Graham, but the Lions will smother that in a hurry, and Tampa Bay will be forced to punt. As the opening quarter winds down on the opening weekend of 2011. The kickoff game for the Buccaneers and the Lions. Aqib Talib's interception run back has Tampa Bay leading Detroit by 4 at the end of 1. We welcome you back. The Lions and the Bucs, and the punt from Michael Kanan. High in the air, Stephon Logan slips a tackle and gets out near the 40-yard line of the Detroit Lions, where Matthew Stafford will take over on offense. Well, everybody's allowed to be optimistic on the opening weekend, and you talked about two teams that have playoff hopes and the talent to back them up. What have you seen so far?
Well, I haven't seen enough of the Tampa Bay offense, that's for sure. I mean, defensively, they paced them with the touchdown by Aqib Talib. Chris, they've got 6 plays on offense. I mean, all the expectations coming in with Josh Freeman and the run game and LeGarrette Blount and all that good stuff. They got 6 plays and no first downs on offense in the first quarter.
Fans thought their offense would carry them in Tampa Bay, and like the good old days, as you referred to, it's been the defense so far. And Matthew Stafford wants to try and get the Lions into the end zone here. Stephon Logan gets the carry. They like bringing him in, and that's a loss that'll bring up second down as Geno Hayes made the stop.
What's new for Geno Hayes? 15 tackles for loss. Last year, that guy does it as good as anybody in the backfield. And look at the total yards. The turnover, the big one, obviously, for a touchdown, the pick 6. Time of possession, ball control, 100% favoring the Detroit Lions.
Calvin Johnson has had some catches, but when we got near the end zone, Pettigrew was shut out. 2nd and 12. Best is the running back. Stafford, there's a penalty. Stafford was back to throw. False start on the Lions. Didn't
tell you who's going to give Gosder Charles trouble, the right tackle of the Detroit Lions. It's that guy right there, and Michael Bennett. And you know, Mark Dominic picked him up a couple of years ago off Seattle, off the waiver wire, I believe. And that guy was an animal in the preseason. Absolutely got after it. Talking to some of the other D linemen, they said he doesn't even know how good he can be.
2nd down, 17. Rondé Barber is coming late, dropping into coverage, and that's almost intercepted. Intended for Javid Best. Let's get an update on the Bills and Chiefs and check in with Kurt Menefee.
Bad hands by Javid Best for you, but check out the hands on Stevie Johnson. Goes up and pulls that one in from Ryan Fitzpatrick. And Buffalo leads in Kansas City 14-0 as they approach the end of the first quarter. Chris and Tim.
Tell you, it looks like Kansas City has picked up where they left off in the preseason. They were not very good, Chris, in the preseason. Matt Castle really was downright awful for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Buffalo not missing Lee Evans so far. 1 for 4 on 3rd down so far for the Lions. They're in a hole here. Time for Stafford. And the whistle blew. They have a delay of game.
After the snap, delay of game. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
You know, for all the expectations of Matt Stafford, and there's a lot being the #1 overall pick, and Jim Schwartz knows that he still only started 13 games. This is his 14th start in pro football, and the interception was not a good throw, and it needed to be low to the outside. And then the one a couple plays ago that was almost intercepted by Sean Jones was also not a good throw underneath to Javid Best. You wonder if some of that pressure in his face is bothering him a little bit in terms of throwing off his back foot, Chris, and trying to flick it out there.
A dangerous situation for Stafford. 3rd and 22. 3-man rush. He rolls out, points downfield. Stafford heaving it for Calvin Johnson. And did he hang on? No! He had it in his hands. Incomplete. And Aqib Talib is slow to get up, if he can get up.
Well, here's the route, and it's really a scramble drill. As things break down, he's going to look back at the quarterback. Now Matt says, go. Matt Stafford says, go deep. And then just launches this thing. He could not corral it as it hits the ground. Tried to clamp it between his legs. Never had possession of the ball. But look at this little flick. As he twists his hips and launches off that back foot, forget about it. That thing went about 55 yards in the air.
And if you'd let him a little more, Calvin Johnson might have had a touchdown. Aqib Talib, the injured player.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Triple Hops Brewed Miller Lite. Taste greatness. By Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by AT&T. Get it faster with 4G. Rethink possible.
Aqib Talib was able to get up and walk off the field over on the Buccaneer bench. Ryan Donahue, his first NFL punt, the rookie from Iowa. And Michael Spurlock lets the ball bounce. Goes inside the 12-yard line of Tampa Bay. A 60-yard boot by Donahue on his first NFL kick. The Bucs will have the football in a moment. Aqib Talib got the wind knocked out of him, appears to be okay, and that's key. The Bucs call him their best defensive player.
Absolutely key. They've only got 4 cornerbacks active for this game, and they've been using all 4.
So Garrett Blunt, who has done nothing, is in as Freeman is on the run. Josh is looking for somebody and hit hard. Knocked down right around the line of scrimmage, first by Justin Durant. And Ndamukong Suh was standing over there as well.
And they got to get something going offensively. They got to get into the flow of the game. And they tried doing it by moving Freeman out to the edge. He does a good job running away from Cliff Averill. But that's their 7th play offensively. And really, Chris, the same story. When you talk about the Tampa Bay Bucs and there's their offensive coordinator, Greg Olson.
Yeah, you thought the offense would be what would lead.
Well, but historically, if you look at them, they have been very slow starters. Last year, they were one of the worst in the league, and they've continued that trend here today against the Lions. Outscored
by 30 points in the opening quarter last year. They led in this one, but that was because of the defensive play. Mike Williams, juggling catch and stayed in to make it. With Chris Houston all over him, it's a first down.
Looks like he got away with a little subtle push-off, too. As you watch him go up on Chris Houston, watch as he pushes on Chris's nameplate right there. Yeah, that's not enough.
You'll let that go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. 18-yard pickup and the first down for this Buccaneer offense out to the 31-yard line. Aurelius Ben in motion. The give is to LeGarrette Blunt. Amari Spivey from his safety spot made the stop. He broke more tackles than any other running back in the NFL last year. Let's get a game break. Here's Kurt Menefee.
Ravens took a 2-touchdown lead over the Steelers at home, but Big Ben leading them back, hooking up with Emmanuel Sanders. 11 yards on the score, cuts the deficit in half. It's now 14-7. Chris and Tim.
And Ben Roethlisberger tough every time he faces the Ravens. A quick snap there. Second down.
I'll tell you, that is where the Lions are so much better on the flanks with those outside linebackers. And I know they have high hopes for DeAndre Levy, and Jim Schwartz said they wanted to play him in the middle. They go get Stephen Tulloch in free agency. Gave him a nice contract. He is the middle backer, which has allowed Levy to go to the outside. And I think that's an area, when you looked at this defense last year, they had Justin Durant, they had Tulloch. That linebacker core was hurting last year, and offenses that played him took advantage of it.
3rd and 5. Ernest Graham the back. 4 receivers, including Desmond Briscoe. And Parker in for Freeman. From the pocket, floats one for Preston Parker. First down Bucs on the Lions side of the field near the 45-yard line.
Very good job by the offensive line. Look, Detroit, when you look at this team last year and even in the preseason, they're going to send the pressure. They're going to send extra guys. And look at the Tampa Bay Bucs up front, pick it up, and Ernest Graham as well in the backfield. Josh Freeman just going to stand tall in the pocket. and deliver that corner route with perfect precision.
So this is the best the offense has done all day, protecting a 10-6 lead. They mark it just outside the 45 of the Lions. Freeman, there's a penalty flag. He's going to throw it deep for Aurelius Ben, and that ball's intercepted as a flag comes out. Chris Houston came up with the interception. 2 penalties on the play, one in the end zone, the other back at the 41-yard line.
Well, I think the one in the end zone is clearly going on Tampa.
On a first down play, Freeman airs it out.
There are 2 fouls in the play, both on the offense. Illegal motion, number 19. That's interference, number 16. Both of those fouls. There's a touchback. Timeout.
Apologize for the microphone of the ref cutting out. So Mike Williams the call, and then Aurelius Ben. So the Lions will get the football after the interception.
Today's game is sponsored by the Ford F-150, the only truck available with EcoBoost.
This November, Fox Sports steps into the octagon with an epic heavyweight title fight as the #1 ranked contender in the world. Junior Dos Santos squares off with the undefeated world champion Cain Velasquez in the must-see live mixed martial arts event you can only catch on Fox, the UFC Championship of the World, live Saturday, November 12th on Fox. To lead back in the game at the corner on 1st and 10 for the Lions. Calvin Johnson has it and has a first down up to the 43-yard line. This follows the 5th career interception of Houston after Josh Freeman had his first pick in 115 passes.
Yeah, and only 6 last year, and that was a huge part of them getting 10 wins. I just wonder if he thought he had a free play when you saw the penalty at the line of scrimmage. And typically, when a quarterback sees that flag come out from the side judge or from the head linesman, he thinks he may have a free play. I'm wondering if that's what Josh thought by just putting it up in the air to Aurelius Ben.
Especially on first down, Tim. And this is a first down carry here for Javid Best, who gets across midfield into Buccaneer territory after the gain of 22 from the Stafford to Calvin Johnson connection. And Best has carried the load a lot in this first half.
Yeah, and I think if you look at Javid Best, most of his stuff is going to be start in one direction and head back the other. I mean, this guy, you talk about what he did in the state of California, running a 10-3 in the 100 meters. That dude is real heat now. Get you going one way and go back the other.
All right, there's a flag down, and Stafford quickly gets rid of it. He was trying to get to the line and hurry things up, and there was some confusion. So far, Stafford 10 out of 17.
Offside. First down.
So they're going to call Brian Price for the offside call.
Has anybody ever come back? Because I can't remember it, and I've been in this league since 1990 with 2 hamstrings reattached to your pelvic bones with screws like Brian Price has.
Not as fast.
And that's
as he
incredible.
Has.
Incredible.
They need him out there plugging up the middle. That is a first down for the Lions. And Best carries again, slips a tackle, and gets down to the 37-38-yard line. Penalty flag comes out on the end of the play.
Peterman cannot do that.
The play was ending.
Yeah, the play was ending. They're defenseless defenders. I mean, defensive players need some help somewhere. You got everybody wrapping up, trying to get the ball carrier down, and Stephen Peterman comes flying out of nowhere, trying to clean up the pile. I feel bad for defensive players in this league. You can't hit anybody on defense.
Personal foul, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 66. Correction, unnecessary roughness, number 66. Offense, that's a 15-yard penalty, and it will be second down.
And here he is, Peterman, watch 66. And again, as a defensive player, I mean, you got to watch what you're hitting all the time. It seems like everybody's defenseless. Offensive guys, I mean, he's going to go try to clean up Rondé Barber over the play. Totally uncalled for and really unacceptable.
And what a drive killer. Let's see if Stafford can bail out of this on second down. Moves him back to the 47 of Detroit. Lions have been near the goal line, but only 2 field goals so far. Pass is caught That's Pettigrew at the 45. It'll bring up third and 11.
And Michael Bennett almost got to Matt Stafford that time. That's going to be a tough matchup out at right tackle for Gosder Cherilus, trying to block Michael Bennett. And I know the Lions are excited having their 5 straight guys back offensively in terms of their offensive line. That hasn't happened in a long, long time. But Gosder Cherilus out there at right tackle is going to have a tough workload today.
Third down. The Buck defense is the reason they're ahead. 10-6.
Now he's got the speed on him with Dakota Watson.
Stafford pressured, completes to Maurice Morris, but short of the first down, and a big tackle by Geno Hayes, who wouldn't let go.
Boy, you love the young defensive line pressure, and this time it's coming from the first-round pick, Adrian Claiborne. Watch him chop those hands down and hit Matt Stafford just as he's getting rid of it. Very good throw by Matt, throwing it with accuracy, and
they're going to go for it here on fourth down.
I'm telling you, that guy right there, 94, is a technician.
Fourth down and 3, and a timeout. The Bucs wanted to call time to get ready for the play on fourth down for the Lions. Morris calls the defensive plays. That's offensive coordinator Scott Linehan for the Lions on fourth down and 3, and they're going for it, passing up a long 54-yard field goal.
Well, and you can see they've gone for it many times last year. Let's see if they try to get Gerald McCoy to jump off sides, who's already been off sides a couple of times.
Stafford. Calvin Johnson. Touchdown Lions. On fourth and 3. He floated at 36 yards. And the Lions get into the end zone.
How about the patience from Matt Stafford, just hanging in there, and letting the play develop. Keep Talib playing from a trail position. Looks like the safety was late getting over the top. There's the pump fake. Let him just hold in there. Now watch as there's a little pump fake right there. Here's the safety trying to get over late.
Oh, Talib looked like he
over the hands of Talib.
Would have had a hand on that. But the size of Calvin Johnson figured in the reception and the Jason Hanson extra point. Nice hold.
Love the patience on a huge fourth down at that spot in the field of Matt Stafford just holding on to the ball, waiting for his guy to develop, his go-to guy, and Talib did get a piece of that. Good concentration.
Tim Ryan talked about a platform for a franchise in a quarterback league, and in 2009 of the draft, Matthew Stafford went #1 overall. The Lions selected him, and the Bucs traded up to 17th to draft Josh Freeman.
Yeah, and some people criticized him for it. I thought it was a great move by Mark Dominic. Look, I think it's simple. You go look at the last several. You keep counting Super Bowl winners, and you tell me who's winning the Super Bowl with the exception of Trent Dilfer that doesn't have an elite quarterback when Trent was in Baltimore. Josh is further along because he's been out there and hasn't been hurt, but both of these guys really are going to set the table, I think, for their organizations for the next 10 years.
And their next goal is get their team to the playoffs as Hanson kicks off and sails it to Preston Parker in the end zone, and he downs it. Matthew Stafford, by the way, 4 out of 4 on that drive, including the touchdown pass on fourth down to Calvin Johnson that has the Lions up by 3. Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader. Some of you will see the Vikings and Chargers. America's game of the week following us, the Giants and the Redskins. Continuing a very emotional day on the anniversary of 9/11.
I'll tell you, I've got searing memories, obviously, as do most of us, and profound memories. I don't know if you've turned the TV on the last couple of days and just kind of reliving it, but man, it's been emotional.
And the NFL part of the healing process as LeGarrette Blount gets some tough yards. He's going to check on the Browns and Bengals. Here's Kurt Menefee.
Yeah, a lot of people taking Cleveland in their suicide pools today against Cincinnati. And the Browns are down 13-0 until Colt McCoy hooked up with Ben Watson, 34 yards on the score. Pulls them a bit closer. It's 13-7 as they approach halftime. Chris and Tim.
Thanks, Kurt. And Colt McCoy, one of those quarterbacks that Cleveland hopes they can build their franchise around.
Well, he's going to be perfect in that West Coast offense that's being installed by the head coach, Pat Shermer. Perfect.
2nd and 6. They're going to go to Blunt again. Fighting, but is stopped short of the first down. Averaged 5 yards a carry last year when as a rookie. He ran for 1,007 and had 6 scores, but Spivey coming up to make the stop from his safety spot.
And this guy is a beast now when you look at him. Physically, he's 250 pounds. He looks like a defensive end, and look at how many yards after contact. 65% of his yards, and you said it, last 5 games, he led the NFL. 65% of them came after contact. In other words, he's his own best blocker breaking tackles. That number right there is the best in the National Football League.
3rd down for Freeman. Backpedaling, throwing for Kellen Winslow, and incomplete. Ball didn't have a lot on it.
Well, it didn't have a lot on it because Josh Freeman had his back turned with DeAndre Levy right in his grill. And then watch the closing speed by Luis Delmas, who they call the guided missile. Look at him just get on his horse and get a nice bat down. That is textbook.
Delmas, one of 3 players in this game from Western Michigan, and the team's leading tackler last year. So a 4th down situation. The defense of the Lions does its job.
The Bucs don't even have 50 yards of offense in this game. Ball control being dominated by the Lions.
Kanan. Logan from inside his 20. Watch out, he's 5'6". And they gobbled him up at the 15-yard line. A big special teams play by Mason Foster. A 52-yard punt and a 4-yard loss on the return. The Bucs were a great turnaround story, and Raheem Morris made it happen with his young quarterback. Last year, they were 10-6, youngest team in the NFL. They had 5 fourth-quarter come-from-behind wins, but that 10-6 mark not good enough to get them into the playoffs. And again, Rondé Barber says it was a couple of losses to Atlanta, but Roy Miller, some other players say it was the loss in December to the Lions that knocked them out.
Yeah, and if you go back and look at their schedule, you talked about the Atlanta games. They also had trouble beating the heavyweights, the Steelers, the Baltimore Ravens, those big teams. Yeah.
At least early in the year. Yep. So 1st and 10 from the 20. Java Best knocked down in a hurry. Check that from inside the 20. And Daquan Bowers, who's the backup to Bennett, made the stop.
And I think you look at the Bucs, and a lot of people expected them to take a step back from the 10 wins just because you look at the division. I think it is the toughest division in football with Atlanta, with the New Orleans Saints. I'm not so sure I believe that. I think they could get to the 10-win threshold again because I'm a big fan of those young defensive linemen that Mark Dominic drafted. They're going to set the tone for these guys.
And the offense needs to show up big. We haven't seen much of that today. Stafford, quick pass right at the 20 and knocked down in a hurry. So it'll bring up 3rd down. That was Pettigrew on the catch and Hayes, who's been busy on the stop. So Stafford suffering the interception run back by Talib, but then he got the best of Talib on the 4th down throw to Calvin Johnson, and that has Detroit up by 3.
Yeah, and I think the first pick 6 where I think he rushed it a little bit, maybe got a little bit of happy feet. We saw it on a couple of bad underneath throws early, and then he settled in. There's no question he has settled in and started to set his feet and deliver some strikes.
And now on 3rd down, the Bucs may be bringing the heat. They send 4. The pass is caught for a 1st down. That's Nate Burleson. All the way out to midfield.
Wow. You know what I love about the zone routes? I call them yellow light routes. Proceed with caution. Go sit down. You don't run through zones. You proceed with caution. You sit down in the middle of the zone, just as Burleson did there. Perfect throw from Matt Stafford. And then Burleson, we all remember him, at least I do, as a great returner when he was in Minnesota and Seattle. You get him the ball in space, he becomes an electrifying return man. He just shook down Aqib Talib.
After caution with yellow is red light, green light. He gained 29 yards on that play and best carries. The Lions offense has controlled much of this first half, and we're hitting the 3:30 mark. Jim Schwartz talked to us in the production meeting about how he has never seen anyone as smart as the 23-year-old Matthew Stafford. That's saying a lot.
It is saying a lot, and he's been around some good quarterbacks, clearly. But they say he's a calming influence in the huddle. I asked Calvin Johnson about him. Calvin said he's a coach on the field.
Yep.
And that's precocious for a third-year player, mature beyond his year.
2nd down 7. Quick pass is complete to Rasheed Davis, who spins to the 35 and still working his way for another Lions first down.
Well, in all the plays and the ball possession, now that Detroit has been able to really run this clock and the number of plays, the contrast, and how many more play opportunities, I'm telling you, the Bucs defensively are wearing down.
Yeah,
you can see it.
You can talk about hometown heat advantage, but when you're on the field as much as this defense is, Tim, it's going to cost you the second half. 14-yard pickup there. 1st and 10 from inside the 35 of Tampa Bay. Lions have all 3 of their timeouts. Penalty flag goes as the handoff is to Morris, and the ball comes out at the end.
Yeah, I think the line judge had a flag.
And the ball, they said it was down. So don't worry about the fumble. E.J. Biggers, one of those Western Michigan players, played with Delmas in high school and in college.
The ruling on the field was the runner was down by contact. Illegal shift, number 16, offense. The 5-yard penalty is still first down.
Rookie Titus Young out of Boise State called for the penalty, so it negates the game.
Well, and that's just the fundamental stuff that you execute through many, many reps of practice. And Titus Young didn't get a lot of practice time with a hamstring for a good portion of training camp.
1st and 15 now. And there's a challenge flag coming out from the Buccaneers side of the field. Now that might be, as you heard the referee say, that down by contact. He might be questioning if there was a fumble at the end of the run. Raheem Morris has to be careful with his challenge. He got caught in the preseason challenging a scoring play as the officials were reviewing the scoring play. Got an unsportsmanlike conduct.
Is challenging the ruling on the field.
Again, the microphone of our referee not real clear, but he is challenging the fumble at the end of the play.
And I think that's Raheem's booth coach who's sitting upstairs watching the shots that our TV truck is feeding him. And you see it right here with Maurice Morris. Left knee down there. You can't see from that angle if Sean Jones had ripped it out, but clearly the knee is down. And it looked like Morris tried to reach out for an extra half yard, and that's when the ball came out.
Yeah.
Certainly couldn't tell with clear evidence, clear visual evidence that the ball was out there before the knee was down, or vice versa.
First challenge of the game. Bucs have already used one of their timeouts.
This will be a better angle here, Chris.
All right, let's take a look.
Okay, bang, knees down, still got the ball. That's not going to be a fumble. It's down by contact.
So if the Bucs lose this challenge, they'll lose a timeout.
Yeah, no fumble. I'll tell you what's amazing, and we don't give the officials enough credit, is how those guys make those calls at full speed.
On the fly.
On the fly. I mean, the back judge who's sitting back here, back in this area, to be able to put his eyes on that as fast as it happens, those guys don't get enough credit.
They have an eye trained for these kinds of calls. And this looks like the best angle here, Tim, as you talked about. Look at where the knee is.
Yeah, down. Ball still secure.
Possession. So the Buccaneers hoping for another turnover. Their only touchdown at a Aqib Talib interception run back. And we'll get the call officially.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is confirmed. The runner's left knee was down. He had control of the football. Tampa Bay is charged with its second timeout.
And in the losing a challenge here, if they lose their next challenge, then they're out of challenges for the game.
Yeah, and you know the new rule now. Every scoring play is under review. But coaches, it used to be you win your first two, you get a third. No more. It's 2 challenges, period, for the whole game.
So the Lions, the good news is they keep the football. The bad news is it's 15 yards for the first down. Calvin Johnson and Aqib Talib are locked up over on the right side.
The Lions have had the ball for 20 minutes in this first half. Not even 7 minutes of possession for Tampa Bay's offense. Wow.
Stafford from the 45 of Tampa Bay fakes the handoff down the middle. What a catch, in and out of the hands of Pettigrew. He did hold on. A 24-yard gain down to the 15-yard line. We have hit the 2-minute mark of the first half. A defensive struggle, but the Lions hoping to add to their lead. On the anniversary of 9/11 around the NFL across America, people remembering. And here, as the NFL was back then, part of the recovery process, continuing to do that.
Love the American spirit.
And it's going strong. I'll tell you, it's Matthew Stafford on 1st and 10 here from inside the 15. Detroit with all 3 of their timeouts.
They'd love to get a sack right here, that being the Tampa Bay Bucks.
Java Best carries and picks up about 4. Rondé Barber drags him down. Stafford is 17 of 24 for 254 yards, a touchdown, and a pick so far.
No, he has certainly found his groove, and he started to pick on the middle of the field. We saw the play that has gotten him deep into the red zone here to Pettigrew. Quincy Black bit hard on a play action, and you know, I know Barrett Root's gone, but I think they miss him in pass defense in the middle of the field.
Second down. Stafford. That's Tony Scheffler. Touchdown Lions. It was thrown low, but he scooped it up.
Bucs defense tired. Chris, they're tired. I mean, you could see there was 4 or 5 guys around the ball. Everybody was kind of pulling up, and Scheffler just kept his concentration and grabbed it and plucked it and held on to it.
Second touchdown pass of the game for Matthew Stafford. Remember, twice down there, he tried to go to Pettigrew, and they couldn't connect. Here he does with Scheffler.
And he's going to roll out to the right and extend the play here, and then watch him laser this in with perfect ball location. Look at all those Bucs standing around Tony Scheffler.
So the extra point by Hansen. And the Lions will add to their lead. At one time they trailed 10-6. Now they lead 20-10 on the 11-yard touchdown toss to Tony Scheffler.
And they have more than doubled up Tampa in number of plays. Here lose contain right here, Michael Bennett. You can't do that. Roy Miller coming outside. And then look at that ball location. Perfect.
Nice fingertip grab.
Very nice by Tony Scheffler. I don't know about the old end zone celebration.
Is that a swashbuckling jab at the Bucs? Well, you hit it before, Tim, and we're going to have to watch closely. They only have one timeout.
Look at that hair. What's going on, Tony?
that may be a little rub at the Bucs shooter and
how about Stafford on that drive? Just perfect.
Now the Bucs
5
offense,
for 5 for Matt Stafford on that drive.
I mean, with 1:16 and 1 timeout, they have done very little in this first half.
Well, they drove it down and got near the red zone, and then Freeman threw the ball up in the air, and it was a great
on a first down play
interception with ball skills by Chris Houston. And then defensively, they've just worn down, and Matthew Stafford has been, as he settled in, especially after first 6-7 minutes of the game, he settled in, and he's just been picking them apart.
Jason Hansen with Preston Parker in the end zone. And he'll down it. It's been an emotional week for the Buccaneers. You know, we talked about today being the 9/11 anniversary, but the passing of Leroy Selman, the first ever Buccaneer, a Hall of Famer, and this quote from Tony Dungy: if you didn't know him and you met him somewhere, you'd never know who he was. You'd never know why he was famous. He was the kind of person when you saw him, you knew it was going to be great. Certain people you're just happy to see, and he was one of those always. And for Buc players, for fans, for people in the Tampa Bay community, his reach to humanity went far beyond the field.
No question, Chris. The guy was a pillar in this community, a real humanitarian.
Freeman's throw complete to a diving Mike Williams for a Buck first down. And there was the ceremony on Friday. It went a little longer where the Bucks had to get back late from practice, and emotionally they looked a little bit drained.
Absolutely they did. I talked to Donald Penn. He said they started out the practice sluggish. I talked to several guys down on the field today, and I said, do you think that the emotion of the whole week will galvanize you or drain you? And to a man, every one of them said it'll galvanize us, it'll bring us together. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to put your finger on it, but it doesn't look like it's been galvanizing up to this point.
After a 14-yard pickup, remember, just one timeout remaining for the Bucks. 1st and 10. Freeman underneath the Graham. Knocked down short of the first down marker.
I tell you, there hasn't been a whole bunch of play opportunities for the Bucks.
Sorry, Tim, they're going to give him the first down on that.
But when they have been out there, Davin Joseph's done a nice job on it in Ndamukong Suh. He really has. And that's a matchup that we'll have to watch for certainly the second half. So far, so good for Davin.
Freeman's throw to Graham. Can he get out of bounds? He's thrown to the ground, and the clock stops with 36 seconds. Coming up on the Visa halftime report, Terry, Howie, Michael, Jimmy, and Kurt will have the scores and highlights from around the league. The Fox Sports ticker will keep you updated with every stat up to the second. Buffalo winning over Kansas City, a playoff team of last year. The Browns have gone in front of the Bengals. Baltimore,
how about that?
Up on the Steelers.
The Steelers have been their nemesis in a big way.
On second down, Freeman's pass complete. Knocked down right away. Where the first down marker is Preston Parker. They have one timeout. Looks like they're going to have to burn it here from the 45 of Detroit with a fresh set of downs. It's the season's most anticipated new series, The X Factor. And now it's your chance to see the competition unfold when Fox presents an exclusive 8-minute preview. See the amazing talent, hear the incredible stories tonight, right after your late game, only on Fox. Connor Barth capable of 55 yards in pregame warmups. He said that's about his range. Of course, he's been clutch from beyond 50 before.
Yeah, he's got a big leg. Look at the number there for Josh Freeman. You know, frankly, I got to tell you, and it was a decent preseason for the Bucks, but Josh was not at his best in the preseason in terms of how he had functioned.
Got going, and
he did.
A young team that maybe needed more time with workouts.
I agree with that. I think Greg Olson and the lockout and the offensive coordinator spending time with him certainly is factoring in here.
Freeman's throw, nice catch. That's Kellen Winslow.
Got to get out, though.
Can't get out. No timeouts remaining. They're going to have to spike it to stop the clock. And it may leave them one play before a field goal try. 14 seconds to go.
Well, and if you're going to take a play, you got to take a shot. It's got to be down the sidelines or it's got to be something into the end zone. 14 seconds.
Right now we'd be looking at a 51-yard field goal if you get nothing. That certainly is in Connor Barth's range. He was making those kicks from that distance in the pregame.
Now you got to take a shot in the end zone or one where the receiver can get out of bounds right away.
Looks like the Lions are going to use a timeout here, Tim, and
first charge timeout. Detroit, 30 seconds timeout.
Assess the situation.
Well, you certainly don't want to run the ball. You certainly don't want to complete something over the middle of the field without any timeouts. Your guy gets tackled, and you're clicking the seconds down to try to get your field goal unit out there. There's just not enough time for it.
And you obviously don't want to take a sack if you're Josh Freeman.
That's right.
You can't take off running.
You can't take a sack. It'll put you way out of field goal range or into deeper, in terms of a deeper kick for Barth, and there's not enough time to do that. It's got to be something in the air. It's got to be in the end zone or, as I said, down the sideline.
Piece of halftime report coming up with more scores and highlights. And for the Lions, we talked about a Buccaneer fast start in the game, but for the Lions, a fast start to their season. They keep hearing about how they're going to be better, they're supposed to be better, and they were clear about until we do it, we don't want to talk about it.
And they didn't want to talk about the 4-0 preseason, but look, you couple that with 4 consecutive wins to end the season, on an 8-game winning streak. The culture has changed in Detroit.
So with 14 seconds and no timeouts, Freeman throws, complete sideline, out of bounds Kellen Winslow, and with 9 seconds, we'll see Connor Barth trot out. And remember, we have a long snapper in Christian Yount, who is a first-year player, and Michael Kanan, the veteran punter, the holder here.
Tell you that was their best drive. I'd like to see Tampa come out in the second half and start doing more than no huddle, letting Josh Freeman control things at the line of scrimmage and putting pressure on that Lions defense. It's the best they've done in this first half.
And it certainly worked for Stafford and the Lions.
You bet.
44-yard attempt and a whistle before the snap. It looked like Jim Schwartz was trying to freeze Connor Barth.
Prior to the snap, this is the second charge timeout. Detroit, 30-second timeout.
And we mentioned the Visa halftime report. Let's go to check with Kurt Menefee, find out what's coming up.
All right, thanks, guys. Coming up in the Visa halftime report, we'll have scores and highlights from this exciting opening Sunday of the National Football League, including how Indy's doing without Peyton Manning, plus the Fox Sports ticker with all the up-to-the-second stats, and we'll put these guys back to work. You ready? It's all coming up on the Visa halftime. You look comfortable.
A motley crew. They look like they could be on the pirate ship hanging out here in Tampa Bay.
That's what I love about those guys. There's no rehearsal. Just put on the headset or put on the mic and go.
They love talking football. All right, so unless Jim Schwartz calls another timeout, and he has one remaining, somebody moved. But Barth wanted to warm up anyway. Well, if it's on Tampa Bay, it'll make that a 49-yard field goal attempt. Matthew Stafford with a couple of touchdowns in the first half.
Prior to the snap, disconcerting signals, unsportsmanlike conduct. Go, first down.
So the defense.
Yeah, I think someone was trying to yell,
get him to snap
the ball. Although typically the field goal is a silent count with the holder just flashing his hand to get the snap ready to go.
So now look, Josh Freeman's coming back out on the field here.
Take another shot at the end zone. Why not?
Yeah, but
you got no timeouts. Take a shot at the end zone.
No, but you got to get a field goal here.
Take a shot at the end zone.
Okay.
If it's incomplete, you still got time to kick a field goal.
All right. I like your aggressive nature.
Well, so does Raheem. Look at him. Fearless, just like Coach.
And a penalty gets him into the red zone, so the cannons fire and the fans are up and hollering. So they're all the way down to the 13-yard line.
This will be a nice shot in the arm for them if they can get 6 instead of 3.
Josh Freeman, end zone. No flag yet. Mike Williams back there. Aaron Berry was all over him.
Yeah, there was a lot of hand fighting and jostling. You'd like this ball higher if you're Mike Williams. Put it up where Mike can elevate and go get it. But there was definitely some battling going on between Mike Williams and Aaron Berry.
So now it's a 31-yard field goal try. Connor Barth made his kick earlier today. Snap, hold, kick. So the Bucs do get points, and that's big before the half because they get to within 7 of the visiting Lions. Aqib Talib's interception run back, the only touchdown for the Bucs. Meanwhile, a gutsy 4th down call. Stafford to Calvin Johnson got the Lions offense going, and that's the end of the first half. The Lions lead 20-13. Football, a part of the healing process a decade ago, and moments ago here in Tampa, Scott Osborne back from Afghanistan, part of Special Forces, but what made it so special was his family here at the game, guests of the Buccaneers and the Lions. They didn't know that he was going to show up and make his way back. A surprise visit for dad, for husband, for brother, And Scott Osborne, and to all the troops serving around the world, we appreciate what you do, and the families of those servicemen and servicewomen on this, the 10-year anniversary of 9/11. With Tim Ryan, Chris Myers, as we get you ready for the third quarter. Matthew Stafford has been sharp after the pick, 2 touchdowns, but the Bucs get the football to start the second half.
Yeah, and I'd like to see the Bucs come out and do some hurry up, some no huddle. They got to start getting some ball control. I mean, they have been doubled up in terms of play opportunities. The time of possession has greatly favored the Lions. They got to get it going offensively, that being the Bucs.
Tim, you can follow your favorite team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL. So the Detroit Lion defense has kept the Buccaneer offense out of the end zone.
Absolutely, and you talk about Stafford, and since that interception, he has really, Chris, settled in. And 7 different receivers for him in the first half in terms of spreading it around, 18 of 25, 265 yards. Think of this, though, 41 play opportunities for the Lions, only 23 for the Buccaneers.
And the Bucs have been able to get to Stafford. No sacks by that Buc defense as Hansen kicks to Preston Parker. It's been one of those days where he's backing up in his end zone. And Tampa will take over at the 20-yard line. Let's see what the coaches had to say at the break and check in on the field with Jennifer Hale.
Well, guys, at the half, Coach Raheem Morris told me he feels awesome. He is in his element right now. He says as things literally get hotter on this field, look for the Bucs to do even better. He says higher tempo offense, much more high octane. Look for them to move the ball more. On the other side of things, Coach Jim Schwartz says he's very happy with that rhythm his team found in the second quarter. He just wants to maintain that, and if they can minimize drops and penalties, he thinks they'll be in great shape. Guys?
Thanks, Jennifer. The Buccaneers were a comeback team last year. We haven't reached the fourth quarter yet, but they're going to have to come back if they want to pull this out. Ernest Graham starts as the running back. Blunt has been ineffective, the limited opportunities he's had in this game. Graham gets the carry. And Ernest Graham with a healthy gain up near the 30-yard line.
I don't know about you, but I've always been a fan of Ernest Graham. And what a nice little 8-year career he's made out of it.
Undrafted free agent.
Yeah, the guy who used to be Mr. August and always did great in the preseason. And here's what I like, though. Hurry up offense. Josh Freeman at the line of scrimmage. This is a huge sign in terms of his development. They got to put pressure on that Lions defense.
On second down 1. Graham again. Can he get the first down? He was hit hard. Freeman calling all the signals and the protections with center Jeff Fain. Boy, every yard is tough for this Tampa Bay offense.
Going against that defensive line. Look, Detroit's strength is that front four for sure. And there's the total yards, 320 to 108. The 2 turnovers, both big. The one that was a pick 6 for a touchdown interception by Aqib Talib. And then the other one was when Freeman had pushed his offense down near the red zone and threw it up for grabs, and Chris Houston did a good job of going up and picking it off.
3rd and 1. LeGarrette Blount checks back in. Inside handoff to Graham.
I don't like it. Now, why are you going to run right at that beat with Ndamukong Suh and Corey Williams and all those guys defensively loaded up on the interior?
Well, the Lion defense toughening up, and they didn't get it. So what looked promising on a first down run. I mean, you have second down and 1, and you can't get a first down. Your offense has problems.
Well, and Ndamukong Suh in both of those 2 running plays, those interior plays, was a major factor. Just don't know how at short yardage, when you close down the formation like that, and the defensive linemen know it's coming, how you can move that beef off the line of scrimmage. No chance.
So in the punt, Michael Kanan back to return. It's Logan. Stephon Logan. And the Bucs are right there. Preston Parker spins him to the ground short of the 30, where Detroit will take over. It'll be 1st and 10. So the Lions, who have a 7-point lead on offense in a moment.
Today's Game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By UPS. Let UPS put the power of logistics to work for you. And by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go.
We welcome you back to Tampa Bay.
There it is right there. That's a matchup to keep your eye on here in the second half. Talib did have the pick 6, but he was not covering Calvin Johnson in the first half. He was on Burleson. then obviously Heller dropped the ball and he picked it off and took it in. Calvin had over 20 yards a catch and the big touchdown in this game.
Torched this Tampa team last December. Javed Best carries, trying to get outside and maybe a yard or two. It'll be second down.
And I think Calvin Johnson has finally realized, and you know, his first few years in the league, there was an injury here, an injury there, he'd missed a couple of games. I think he's finally realized that his physical talent is really head and shoulders above most of the guys that he's playing against. Chris, you're talking about a guy that's over 6'5". He's 230 pounds, and when he came out of Georgia Tech, you know anything about the vertical jump, he went 44 inches. In my mind, he's open every play 4 feet over his head.
Don't tell Talib that. 12 touchdowns last year, and he went to the Pro Bowl on second down 8. Again, Javed Best. You know, we thought Blunt would carry the load on the ground as McCoy makes the tackle for the Buccaneer offense. Javed Best has been doing that. Maybe the Bucs didn't expect a lot of inside running.
Well, I think that they've certainly had more opportunity to do it and to feature the run game. The Bucs have really, with 8 minutes time of possession, a little over 8 minutes in the first half, they didn't have time to feature the run game. But you notice all their runs to Javed Best have been out of the spread formation, and it's that little counter power where they fake one way and then they get him behind the pulling guard, get somebody up in front of him.
He's got 13 carries, 2 catches in the game. On third down, time for Stafford, and over the head, a flag comes in.
Yeah, they're going to get to leave on pass interference, I believe.
That was over the head of Calvin Johnson.
He ran a double route, Calvin Johnson.
Contact, 25, defense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
And here it is, and watch Calvin, there's going to be one cut, now he's going to fake out, now he's going to fake back in, the ball's not in the air, and Talib was holding on to the back of his jersey.
That's a product of the two things you were talking about, the size of Calvin Johnson, his ability, and maybe Talib, even after a half, wearing down, getting tired of chasing that big guy all over the field.
Well, and again, a guy who had no game reps during the preseason because of his hamstring.
So from just inside the 40-yard line, a fresh set of downs for Matthew Stafford. Lions leading by 7 here in the third quarter.
Calvin's in the slot this time against Rondé Barber.
And Stafford sets up to throw. Goes underneath and completes to Javed Best, who gets out across midfield. And the Buccaneer defense, part of the youngest roster in the NFL, just over the age of 25, and the 35-year-old head coach, Quincy Black, the leading tackler today. And they hurry up a little bit here to get to the line. On first down, Maurice Morris checks in. Morris carries. First down, the ball comes out, and is it saved out of bounds? The Lions get it back inbound.
Is that Rob Sims that went up and grabbed it?
The Buccaneers' Sean Jones knocked the ball loose. The Bucs flipped it back, but Sims looked like he got to it.
Really a heads-up play by Quincy Black, trying to throw it back in. Sean Jones knocks it out. You'll see 26 come swat right there. He's going to knock it out. Now Quincy Black's going to jump in the air, knowing his momentum's carrying it out. He throws it back in. Barber tips it, and Rob Sims, the offensive guard, with the nifty hands, goes up and gets it. Now that ball was going right for, it looked like Tim Crowder. Rondé Barber hit it up in the air, deflected it, and luckily it came down right in the hands of Rob Sims.
And Morris had played with a cast on his hand. That hand injury, limited in the preseason, didn't get a lot of game activity. May have had something to do with the fumble. Stafford's pass complete. Maurice Stovall, the former Buccaneer, gets down inside the 38-yard line. Stovall, who spent the first 5 years here in Tampa Bay, but was voted a team captain for today's game. They have the regular captains on the lines, and then those they rotate. And a special teams player, a four-phase player.
Right.
What does that mean?
Well, that means he plays every special team. He's going to play kickoff team, kickoff return, punt team, punt return, the 4 big ones.
And
he's in on all those.
Helping out as a backup receiver.
And that's what he did here, Chris, in Tampa. And you know that. He was an outstanding special teams player when he was down here with the Bucs.
The drive continues with Javed Best. And they are getting some good chunks of yardage on the ground on these first down carries.
I love his vision, Javed Best. And, you know, most of the good backs have great vision and can read their blocks. He did a great job there just with patience and vision, waiting for the block to happen for Rob Sims. He's nifty little cut up inside for extra yards. I'm telling you, this Bucs defense is worn down.
2nd down 5. Lions hoping to add to their 7-point lead. Stovall checks back in. 7th play of the drive, as Tim said, trying to wear down this Bucs defense. They're young, but it's hot out there. Temperature near 90. And they've been on the field a lot. Best again cuts to the outside. And he's going to have another 1st down. Sean Jones from his safety spot had to come up and make the tackle.
Well, you say come up and make the tackle. That was a good job by Matt Stafford at the line of scrimmage, reading that Tampa Bay had 2 safeties back. And when they do that, they're outnumbered in the box in terms of the running box because there was 2 tight ends on the field and they were in a closed formation. So Matt Stafford in his 3rd year got up to the line of scrimmage, had a play called, looked back, saw the 2 deep safeties and said, we got a numbers advantage, let's run it. They did, were able to pick up a nice 1st down.
Jerome Harrison checks in the backfield. The former Steeler and Brown on 1st and 10. Timeout. Matthew Stafford wasn't sure, so he plays it safe. It's the first timeout of this 2nd half. The Lions with the football and a 7-point lead.
Specialist Jason Fuller here from Mason, Michigan in Kandahar Airfield, Kandahar, Afghanistan. I want to say, go Lions, let's restore the war.
Many military and families of military in attendance here on 1st and 10 for the Lions. That's Jerome Harrison, his 1st carry of the day, and he's near another Lions 1st down. This is a Mike Burks production directed by Tom Yohe, our production crew. Appreciate their fine work with Tim Ryan, Chris Myers, Jennifer Hale down on the field. And it's been an unusual game, not that far removed from the game last year between these 2 teams.
Yeah, although LeGarrette Blount ran like crazy in that game. Remember, he had the big 39-yard scamper, and we got a lot of different players in this game. It was Drew Stanton at quarterback for the Lions.
And the Lions came back to force overtime and win. It'll have to be the Bucs who would try and rally here. Harrison carries it plenty of room and carries again for a 1st down out of the 11-yard line of Tampa Bay.
That O-line is just controlling the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. It's all spread run stuff. Get the outside linebackers walked out a little bit.
Saw Jeff Backus, his 161st consecutive start, more than any, adding to the best lineman string in Lion history.
Chris, if they can have a good year, and I know there's a lot of hopes for him, it's that guy right there, 51 at center, Dominic Raiola, and Jeff Backus, who have been on the Detroit grind for about 11 years. Think about that.
10th play of this drive. Talk about a grind. The Bucs defense up against it. Harrison remains the back.
It's a matter of time before
Stafford's throw complete to Burleson, and near the goal line, may have another 1st down.
No, I knew it was just a matter of time before that guy gets it going. That's his 5th catch of the day. But this is just too easy. Look, I mean, do you see a defender around this guy? I don't, and neither does Matt Stafford. Turn, fire.
Burleson got up limping. On 1st and goal, Stafford, Calvin Johnson.
Wow.
And that is a touchdown, Lions. Yes, he held on. He came up cleanly with the football as Stafford goes limping off. And remember, Calvin Johnson said the memory of last year, as Stafford looks like he's in pain.
He's got a cramp. That's a classic, put my leg up, stretch my calf.
But Calvin Johnson said after that opener last year with the Bears, I'm going to make sure I come down with the football and hand it to the referee.
What did I tell you? 4 feet over his head, he's open every time. That's a perfect example of it. Gets his feet down, keeps the ball in front of him, clamps down, finishes the whole process of the catch. Now, Talib can get up. He's got big ball skills, but that's all Calvin Johnson and that physical talent I was talking about earlier.
Wonder if he's thinking in his mind, take that, Gene Steratore, and the NFL.
Now, they're going to review this up to the booth.
Everything, every scoring play reviewed, so wait for the signal to the officials. And as they review, we'll pause for a moment. Calvin Johnson in the end zone again.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by the award-winning 2012 Fiat 500.
Flashback last year, week 1, Lion fans remember facing the Bears, 31 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Sean Hill would look like a go-ahead touchdown to Calvin Johnson, but after further review, Gene Steratore ruled it was an incomplete pass. What will the ref say this time on the Calvin Johnson catch?
He's going to say it's a touchdown. Everything I saw up here.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is confirmed. It is a touchdown.
You talked about 4 feet higher than everybody else, and he also got his feet down.
And he absolutely did. And watch his right toe touch before his hip hits out of bounds. So he's got the ball, left foot down, now right foot down there before the hip touches out of bounds. No question, touchdown, and he is clamping onto that football. No way is he letting that go.
And he moves into a tie on the all-time Lions touchdown reception list. Johnny Morton part of that group. Terry Barr with 35 career touchdown catches. Of course, Herman Moore, the leader in that department, as Jason Hansen makes the extra point. And Stafford, it is cramps, as you mentioned, with the heat here, but 3 touchdown passes, and the 23-year-old has the Lions up by 14. Tim Ryan, Chris Myers here in Tampa Bay. The last 3 drives resulting in touchdowns. Matthew Stafford cramping up a little bit, but getting the job done. And the Lions, who trailed at one time 10-6 to the Bucs, now lead 27-13.
Doing more than getting the job done. That dude is on fire. Looking at his numbers.
291 yards through the air as Preston Parker will down this. And the Bucs offense will come out to the 20. Why do you hold your breath when Matthew Stafford limps off the field? Because of the brief history. Week 1 last season, Lions and Bears. Julius Peppers in on Stafford. And right shoulder kept him out for the next 5 games. And when Stafford was back week 9, the Jets and Lions, Stafford brought down from behind and re-injured the shoulder and missed the rest of the season.
You notice one thing that we haven't seen out of Matt Stafford today, him taking off and running with the ball. It's a lot easier to throw it and catch it to your wide receivers than, as I like to say, put the Wells Fargo truck in harm's way without a lock on the door, right?
He hasn't had to take off and run. The pass is low and incomplete, intended for Preston Parker. Aurelius Ben started, but we haven't seen much of him. The Buccaneer wide receivers, they thought that was a strength position, and they haven't really been able to do anything, but that goes for the entire Buccaneer offense, and I think we got to give this Lions defense the credit.
Absolutely. The Lions linebackers, and we all talk about the line, their linebackers have been terrific with the upgrades. Eric Wright has been good, but this offense has to find a flow, and they're going to have to do it now at the line of scrimmage with the hurry-up tempo.
Detroit, somebody jumps there. Detroit has taken LeGarrette Blount out of this game, as Graham remains the back.
Neutral zone infraction, number 94. Defense, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Lawrence Jackson.
Yeah, and yeah, he just got with the hard count there from Freeman. But if you look at Josh Freeman, his best success came right before the half when they got into the hurry-up tempo mode when time was an issue. That's what they need to do here. They need to press the envelope and find some flow offensively, and more importantly, get that defensive line breathing a little bit.
Freeman needs 5 yards for a first down. He's going to run and be short. Willie Young, one of the most improved players on this Lions defense, makes the stop. And Freeman comes over to the sideline, and he kneels down.
He told us the other day he doesn't like to run, and there was a running lane if he would have taken off earlier. Detroit in man coverage everywhere, and he decides late that he's going to take off and run, and looked like he got a little nicked.
I mean, the guy's 6'6" and 245 pounds. Willie Young is 250. Looks like they're taking Josh Freeman to the locker room, and we were worried about Matthew Stafford's health, and Freeman jogging in there. That would be a concern for the Bucs, but Josh Johnson has been in the system, an original draft pick out of San Diego, played for Jim Harbaugh there.
Now you better be careful about how you do your man coverage against these guys, because this guy can absolutely fly. He will take off and run with your defenders in man coverage in a heartbeat.
Capable of throwing it. Had an excellent preseason as well. Under pressure. He is going to run and try to get a first down. Looks like he's a little bit short. Depending on the spot, that's an important third down play. For Josh Johnson, he's made a few starts in his NFL career, but usually mop-up duty.
And he's going to be short here. Think about how difficult that is. I mean, when you don't know that you're coming in and there's a quick injury to your quarterback, and in about 10 seconds prep time, you're out there taking a snap.
And the crowd that is here is getting frustrated because Tampa Bay will punt again. We'll keep an eye on the Josh Freeman injury situation, as Josh Johnson will be the quarterback until he returns. Remember, they only have 2 active quarterbacks on this roster. Logan passes his way up to the 27-yard line. 55-yard punt and a 12-yard return. The Lions set up on offense with the lead.
Chris, they love the addition of their defensive line coach, Keith Millard. Of course, everybody, and the Bucs fans remember him in the old NFC North days when the Bucs were in the division. The Minnesota Vikings, they had 18 sacks one year, and he is here to really train these guys as pass rushers. And it hasn't gone so well today. Give credit to the Lions offense up front, but Millard is a big addition to changing what these guys do up front.
No sacks on Stafford as Java Best carries. Let's check in on the Eagles and Rams. Kurt Menefee has a game break.
Well, Chris, after a slow start, the Eagles were looking like the Eagles, really. Michael Vick's second touchdown pass of the game. Deshaun Jackson's already over 100 yards receiving. And the Eagles have a 24-13 lead in the third quarter over the Rams. Chris and Tim.
Thanks, Kurt. The Eagles will play Atlanta next week. Michael Vick, his old team, and the Rams will get the Giants. Steve Spagnuolo, head coach of the Rams, against the defense that he coordinated to a Super Bowl win. On second down, short. Lions running again with Best. And chewing up yardage on the clock.
I'll tell you what, Scott Linehan, and to me, an underrated play caller in this league, and I think he's so much more comfortable now just being on the offensive side of the ball. I thought he was out of his element as a head coach in St. Louis, certainly towards the end. This guy is an offensive mind and a really good one, and has kept these guys off balance, that being the Bucs defense with those little inside counter runs, fake reverses, and then Matthew Stafford, of course, his quarterback, executing the whole thing.
And it hasn't helped that the defense has been on the field because the Buc offense has not been able to sustain a drive. They're going to run again with Best. Gino Hayes over there to make the tackle, so Stafford back in after the cramps and running the show. Let's check in with Jennifer Hale down on the field.
Yeah, Chris, I tell you what, the ice is flying over on the Detroit sideline. The heat factor is really kicking in for the Lions right now. For the past several minutes, I've been watching trainers rub down Stafford's left leg with ice. Looks like he's good to go now. Nate Burleson also being affected by this heat. Trainers have been working over him. You can see lots of the Lions players with soaking wet towels draped over their heads and necks, just trying to cool themselves down. Chris, Tim?
Second down, 7. Harrison carries, knocked down in the backfield by Rondé Barber. At age 36, his 184th consecutive start, and that's the longest active streak in the league, with Peyton Manning's streak coming to an end.
You can fool him a few times, but don't make a steady diet of it. That little spread running game, because he is going to come off the slot quicker than a hiccup and get a tackle for loss. How he's still doing it in year 15 at his age is remarkable.
And his height and weight, he's what, 5'10", 184 pounds.
And let me tell you something, a lot of people don't know it, but he plays more linebacker than he does corner when they get into their passing defense.
Well, they need a big play here. Trailing by 14 on 3rd and 10. The Lions want to keep it going. Stafford throws deep for Titus Young. Knocked in the air and complete. Sean Jones was back there.
The old dash deep ball. Love that one. You sprint him out, dash out Stafford to the right. Typically, that's going to be some type of a short tiered route coming over the middle. No, Linehan calls it up to take it deep. Stafford unloads it late, and this ball is underthrown, and lucky not intercepted by Sean Jones.
Only the second punt today by Detroit's rookie punter Ryan Donahue. Taking over for Nick Harris, who had been here for 7 years and endured a lot of the pain and suffering of the Lions. But rooting for this team to do well. That's the kickoff. Spurlock lets it bounce. Remember, Strotter had a big return on a kickoff, but had an ankle problem. And so Spurlock and Preston Parker have handled the return duty. Next weekend on FX, the Saturday game of the week, Syracuse takes on Matt Barkley and USC Southern Cal. It's the FX Saturday College Game of the Week, presented by Russell Athletic. It's in high definition, only on FX. Next weekend, check local listing for the channel and start time in your area. Of course, I remember interviewing you as a star.
That was one of your first gigs, wasn't it?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
Way back when?
And I said, you know, you got a good voice. It had nothing to do with
you, Chris.
your playing career, but I said when you finish your playing career, I think you've got it for an announcer. Yeah. And you've done okay.
Yeah, appreciate that.
A long way
blast from the past.
From USC. All right, Josh Johnson remains the quarterback and completes the pass. Short of the 25-yard line. We're still waiting. That's Desmond Briscoe. On an update, Josh Freeman jogged off. Now he's jogging back out of the tunnel on the Buccaneers sideline. So Josh Freeman at least is back to the Buccaneer bench. And Josh Johnson trying to hurry up the offense. It is fourth year.
And he's got a, I don't know, did he have that big flak jacket on to start the game? Looks like he may have added some padding around his lower back.
Away. It'll be third down. For Josh Johnson, 17 NFL games, 4 starts. This is 18th. And has backed up Freeman from day one.
Yeah, you see that pad around his kidneys, and that's added now. He went into the locker room and he strapped that thing up. So clearly when he went down from behind, and you could tell right when he went down, he turned around and told somebody, hey, like he felt it right away. Definitely padded up now in the low back and the kidney area.
So the Lions hoping for a stop to get the ball back. Johnson standing at his 20. He's in trouble. And real trouble. It'll be fourth down.
Good job here by Donald Penn handling Kyle Vanden Bosch, and has most of the day. But the problem is when the quarterback breaks contain. Boy, Penn is really good. But when the quarterback breaks contain, Stephen Tulloch, the middle backer, he's going to come out on secondary contain and snatch Josh Johnson right to the ground. I was happy to see Donald Penn get into the Pro Bowl last year. Well deserving for him.
A free agent who made it to the big time and a big payday. But the Buccaneers have to punt. So Kane and Logan fumbles it, but picks it up. Chasing it is Devin Holland. And the special teamer for the Bucs brings him down short of the 25-yard line. 52-yard boot and a 2-yard return. The NFL is holding a special auction to benefit 9/11 charities. Autographed, game-worn jerseys, game balls, other NFL items. Auction to raise money for Tuesday's Children and My Good Deed. Please go to NFL.com/auction. And bid on these items.
You know, we talk about all the folks that lost their lives that day and paid the ultimate sacrifice, and the first responders and all of those outstanding folks. 7,000 children lost a parent on 9/11. Think about that. Wow.
The NFL continuing to honor those in stadiums across America today and later tonight. Jerome Harrison in the backfield. Keelan Williams inactive. Harrison carries. Another gain on first down up near the 30-yard line before Barber brings him down. The Lions have taken control of this game, and we're winding down in the third quarter.
And that's how Rondé Barber can still do it, because he's savvy. He was all over that play before it happened. He was lined up out on the slot, and just watch him here as he baits the quarterback into thinking, okay, I'm going to get out of here on the slot defender, and then he immediately comes flying back in. Barber, he was all over that play pre-snap.
He has not missed a game since November of '99. Harrison carries, and until the Bucs stop him, the Lions will keep going there. That's a first down for Detroit.
They are really getting behind Rob Sims, letting that left guard lead the way, whether it's Javed Best or Jerome Harrison, letting big number 67 lead the way.
Can Josh Freeman return to the game and rally the Bucs, or will the Lions keep it away and add to their lead? At the end of 3 quarters, Detroit with a 27-13 lead here in Tampa Bay. Every time the NFL kicks off a season, it's special. This on the 10-year anniversary of 9/11. Special ceremonies held across the country and around the stadiums. And teams optimistic, taking to the field. They hope it's the start of something big. And for the Lions and their fans, overdue. They have dominated this football game after trailing 10-6 early. The ball handed off to Best. And can he get away? He does across the 40, but short of the first down. And the Buccaneers had a chance to throw him for a loss, and they failed to do that.
Defenders all up in the running box for Tampa Bay. Look at all these guys. Javed Best has got his eyes on Rondé Barber. Takes a hit from Adrian Claiborne. Now he's going to get a good block right there from Titus Young. I'm telling you, wearing down and worn down is this Tampa Bay Bucs defense. They have been on the field for over 32 minutes of this game. Including Brian Price, and you raised the question earlier about surgery, reattaching hamstrings. A guy who was trying to work his way back. He is the injured Bucs player. And while they check on him, let's get an update from Kurt Menefee.
A dominant performance by the Bears defense today. Matt Ryan helps him out by fumbling this football. Brian Urlacher, who already had an interception, scoops up the fumble and takes it in for the touchdown. 12 yards on the score. Bears all over the Falcons, 30-6. That one in the fourth quarter. Chris and Tim.
So the Buccaneers in the NFC South watching Atlanta.
That's a surprise to me. I mean, I thought that would be a much closer game. Atlanta still hung over from a terrible preseason. They didn't win a game.
Best record in the league last year. The #1 seed knocked out in the playoffs. Calvin Johnson on the catch. It'll bring up a third down as Sean Jones makes the tackle. The Bucs defense.
This game's not even close in terms of the numbers. The score is not indicative of what's happened in this game, Chris. You got 25 first downs to 6 for the Tampa Bay Bucs. 420 yards to 128.
And an important stop here for Tampa. If Josh Freeman can get back on the field. The Bucs are known, the young Bucs, for their fourth quarter comebacks. But Stafford wants to keep his...
Watch out for Pettigrew here.
Hand on the wheel.
A little swing route to Javed Best.
Plenty of time. Throws for Calvin Johnson, and it's incomplete. Coverage help over there. Cody Grimm with Aqib Talib.
There's the cramps again for Matt Stafford. It's the old walk on the heel. I got a cramp in my right calf.
You can hydrate all you want, but the wear and tear out there in this 90-degree heat. So on fourth down, the Buc defense does its job.
Yeah, they were all over it. And a third down play the whole preseason for Detroit was that little swing route to Javed Best. The Bucs were having none of it. They covered it up.
Michael Spurlock with a chance to return the punt. And he's going to go down or go out of bounds at the 8-yard line. Maurice Stovall, the former Buc, running him out. 45-yard kick and a loss of 3. We will see Josh Freeman. He's going to take the field for the Bucs. But why the cramps for Stafford and some of the Lions? Look at the temperature. Look at the humidity here in Florida.
Today's game is sponsored by Chevrolet and their award-winning cars, trucks, and crossovers. By Old Spice, kill the stink of your body and replace it with the science of love. And by Corona Extra, who invites you to find your beach.
Josh Freeman has returned to the field after missing the last series. Remember, he had 5 fourth-quarter comeback wins last year. Of his 13 wins in the NFL, 7 have been come from behind fourth-quarter rallies. On first down, it hands off to Graham. A couple of yards out across the 11-yard line. It'll be second down. So
look, still plenty of time in this game, down 2 touchdowns, and you got almost the whole fourth quarter to play. but I'd love to see some hurry-up tempo and just start. And if anything, you're going to wear down and hopefully wear down that Lions front.
They've taken the crowd out of it. The Lions have. LeGarrette Blount has been taken out of it. Freeman was out of it. Now he's back in. On second down, pass to Aurelius Ben, who is stopped right away. It'll bring up another third down for this Buccaneer offense.
And Ndamukong Suh was right in the face of Josh Freeman there. He takes an inside rush. Here he is, going to go here on Davin Joseph. I mean, he is so good with his hand placement, and most defensive linemen, the good ones are, with the ability to slap the hands and get the ribs. But really, for Ndamukong Suh and his soccer background, Chris, it all starts with his feet. When you can match up great feet with technical hands, you end up being a dominant player, which he is.
An important third down for Freeman to keep the Bucs offense on the field.
Comes the heat.
Pass complete to Kellen Winslow in the clear and up near the 39-yard line. Josh Freeman told us that, you play within the game, but in the fourth quarter, then you have to go out and be a hero. This is the fourth quarter.
And that's what he's one of the best ones in the league, certainly top 10 as a fourth quarter quarterback. Greg Olson's got to push in the envelope here, the offensive coordinator, at the line of scrimmage.
23-yard completion. Time for Freeman. Coming for Parker. Catches it near the 45 and goes out of bounds.
Here's the play before the big completion, and Ndamukong Suh got the good pressure. Watch what they do to him here. They got three guys locked up on Ndamukong Suh. Two linemen, and then Ernest Graham wants to get in there and take a shot. I like this. I mean, watch how if they continue with this and complete some balls, watch how the pass rush slows down, Chris, for the Lions.
Mike Williams has only 2 catches in this game. He's the star receiver for Freeman. On second down, 2. Graham cuts back and has a first down at the 45-yard line of Detroit. He went for Mr. August, Raheem Morris calls him Mr. Insurance, because whether they need him at fullback or
so savvy
backup running back or a big catch. Craig Lundgren is now in the game. A one-time Packer out of Georgia.
I love the little dink and dunk, wearing down the rushes.
On first and 10, pass is complete to Aurelius Ben. And he has a first down inside the 35 of Detroit.
And look at all the new guys coming in on the rotation for the Lions defense. And they're going to work that 8-man rotation. But Josh Freeman needs to just keep doing what he's doing, staying with the methodical plan at the line of scrimmage. Look, if the Lions are going to give you a cushion, just dink and dunk and make them work.
Maybe the Lions wearing down a little or feeling some of that dehydration. Eric Wright is the player sitting down at the 36-yard line. Chris Houston, who had the big interception, also the leading tackler in this game for Detroit. The Bucs are on the move, trailing by 14 here in the heat. Josh Freeman trying to rally the Bucs, trailing here to the Lions, 27-13. Eric Wright cramping up, so Aaron Berry comes in at the corner for Detroit. Also Maurice Stovall headed to the locker room. On first and 10 for the Bucs.
Yeah, shotgun fast pass, love it. Big cushion at the top. Up at the top of the screen, let's see if Josh just gets it in his hands and releases it.
Really has been dropped it.
Boy, Tulloch is instinctive, isn't he?
Yeah, for a little linebacker.
You surprised at how vertically challenged he was when he walked into the room last night?
You're being polite, but he's got a chip on his shoulder the size of Montana. And he certainly has played big.
You know who he is? He's really, who his mentor is, London Fletcher. Yep. They're really the same guy physically when you look at him. Of course, London Fletcher, the linebacker for the Redskins, was a great one for the Rams and the Buffalo Bills. These guys mimic each other so much. And Tulloch, growing up as a high school player, he said that London Fletcher was his favorite player and really has modeled himself after him.
So he's in the middle for the Lions. LeGarrette Blount checks back in, and he gets the football.
And Tulloch's not having it.
And Blount goes nowhere, so it's going to be third down from the 33 of Detroit.
Listen, when Blount's in there, number one, it's a run alert, but here's Tulloch. He's going to try this way, Blount, and Stephen Tulloch's just all over it. There's no chance. He reads the guard pulling. That's his key. And that's the key of a linebacker, not to get too technical, but a linebacker's got his eyes on the guard, he's got his eyes on the running back. He reads the guard pulled, now the running back confirmed it with his path of release, and he just reads his keys and he diagnoses it and finishes it with a nice tackle.
Fourth tackle of the game for Tulloch on 3rd and 8. Freeman from the shotgun. Extra pressure picked up, throws for Williams, first down Bucs. Josh Freeman told us that's his go-to guy whenever he's in trouble, even if you're playing, backyard street ball football. 13-yard pickup.
And again, big cushion from Aaron Berry. And you're right, Chris, in saying that. I mean, there is a huge relationship. You could see it last year as Mike Williams led all rookies in catches with Josh Freeman. And that time, that was just an easy read. Off coverage, out route, not a problem.
1st and 10 from the 20. Freeman goes underneath and behind Ernest Graham. It'll be 2nd down 10. So Eric Wright remains out. They picked on Berry last time. You wonder if Freeman will go back to that spot on the corner.
And Detroit's rotating that defensive line. And Ndamukong Suh just goes out. Bringing Andre Fluellen to replace him.
Freeman and Suh have a history going back to their college days. They talked yesterday, but that was it. Suh said until I see him on the field. Freeman toward the end zone and incomplete. The play was never happening, and Mike Williams over there.
That's great coverage from Aaron Berry. That's perfect. I mean, he is in such good position. He's in man coverage because the Lions defensively are bringing the pressure. And watch Berry. He's going to turn and now drive Mike Williams to the sideline. Use the sideline as an extra defender. You're playing with 13 defenders out there. When you count the sidelines as defenders, that is textbook by Aaron Berry.
And remember, Tim, there's no force-out rule anymore, so you can use that, push a guy if he's trying to get his feet down. 12th play of this drive and the longest drive of the game for the Bucs, but they need points on the end of it. On 3rd down, Freeman hesitates, completes to Preston Parker.
He's short.
It's going to be a big 4th down.
Yeah, and Jeff Fane's out there yelling, let's go for it. He's Jeff Fane, the center's looking at the sideline, swinging his arms, and he is absolutely right in his aggressiveness. They've got to go for it.
Remember earlier when they had a 2nd and 1, and on 2 tries running it, they couldn't get the first down.
See if they brought in Ndamukong Suh back into the lineup. And Ndamukong is not out there.
So trailing by 14, Raheem going for it. It was a gutsy call by Jim Schwartz on 4th down in the first half of this game that produced a touchdown for the Lions and turned the game upside down. Ernest Graham fighting. Looks like the ball came out at the end of the play. And on 4th down, before it came out, it looked like he was close.
Well, he was fighting for that extra yard, and I think fighting for that yard is when the ball got knocked out. Louis Delmas and the Lions stacked it up pretty good. It's going to be Lions football.
And a major stop by the Lions defense.
And just getting a little lag, draw it this way. A little power. And as he's reaching out, oh, his knee was down. Looked like his right knee was down before that ball came out.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by the Chevy Cruze.
Okay. Stephen Tulloch coming up with the loose football by Ernest Graham on the 4th and 1 failure on the part of the Bucs. So the Lions take over, protecting a 14-point lead. Jalvin Best has been busy, and he gets the carry, maybe a yard. And 7:40 to go.
And back to that fumble, I think that the ball was getting dislodged before Ernest Graham. We had an opportunity to look at it on the break. It was getting dislodged and coming loose before his knee was down. Now you get into and this is where they missed the big power back. Now, Jalvin Best and Jerome Harrison, they've done a nice job today, but here's where you'd like to really crank it out with that 235-pound pile mover.
They've used
chew up the clock.
Three different running backs, Tim, from Maurice Morris to Jerome Harrison and Java Best. On second down 10 after no gain. Sean Jones coming in from his safety spot. And it'll be third down. Let's check on the Eagles and Rams. Here's Kurt Menefee.
Well, the Eagles making a few fantasy owners happy today. LaShawn McCoy's second touchdown of the afternoon, one rushing, one receiving. He's got 104 yards rushing. Deshaun Jackson over 100 receiving. Vic 86 on the ground and 2 touchdown passes. That's why they're up 31-13. Chris, Tim?
All right, thanks, Kurt. The fantasy number's good for Matthew Stafford with 3 touchdowns and closing in on 300 yards. But here he wants a first down.
No one's on Pettigrew. You got nobody on Brandon Pettigrew. Nobody.
They need 9. And the pass goes to Java Best, who is brought down from behind by Dakota Watson. And it'll be fourth down. Special teams, Rich Bisaccia, the special teams coach, moved on to San Diego. Wayne Stoops in charge of that here. Is this where you gamble on a punt block?
Well, you certainly don't want to get a roughing the punter down here, and you know you get the return, you're going to be in good field position. But yeah, I think they're going to turn it up. And the reason I'll tell you they turn it up, when you only got one guy out there pressing the gunner, and you got 8 inside rushing, here comes the heat.
He's a rookie punter, Ryan Donahue. Standing inside his 5. Spurlock is back for the Bucs. He does get the kickoff. Fair catch waved for and run into by a member of the Lions. So here comes the flag. And you can tell Rasheed Davis never saw the, at least it appeared he didn't see the fair catch signal, but the flag came out nonetheless. And if they tack on yardage after a 40-yard kick, this could set the Bucs up nicely.
There is no foul. The player was blocked into the receiver.
So he was blocked into the receiver after the fair catch. No penalty. That is waved off. The Bucs have the football. They're trailing by 14. Next Sunday, Fox Sports proud to bring you exciting coverage of the Barclays Premier League. Manchester United, owned by the Glazers, who own the Bucs, taking on Chelsea. Coverage beginning Sunday in high definition. Check local listings for the start time in your area. Freeman on first down to Ernest Graham underneath. He'll be about 5 or 6 yards short of a first down. The clock may be the enemy along with the Lions. Just over 5 minutes to go. All 3 timeouts remaining, but the Buccaneers need 2 touchdowns.
And here's where you got to really count on your D-line to get some quick pressure, because the Lions are going to play, you don't want to call it a prevent, but certainly shell coverage with 4 deep. Just Freeman's going to pick it apart underneath.
Winslow right at the first down marker, and it should be good enough for a fresh set of downs, and it is. And remember, this is where the young Bucs made their mark last year. The fourth quarter comeback.
Frankly, they should have been doing this shotgun fast pass, Chris, the whole game.
From behind, the ball's knocked loose. Kyle Vanden Bosch got behind Freeman and tore it out. Graham was quickly on it.
Not sure if Freeman's hand was coming forward. Vanden Bosch going to come around here on Donald Penn. Looks like as he swiped at it, Freeman still had a hold of the ball.
And you can't say enough about
Donald Penn had a hold of Kyle Vanden Bosch there.
I mean, Vanden Bosch coming off neck surgery and shoulder injury. But a leader on defense for this team as Freeman is under pressure again. He runs. Can he get the first down? Yes! Falling to the 36-yard line of Detroit.
Vanden Bosch just got held bigger than Dallas right there by Donald Penn. They didn't see it. Josh Freeman's able to make you pay with his legs. You know, Vanden Bosch is nuts with those red contacts that he wears. It's like where he is on his RPM gauge, redlining all the time with that guy's nonstop motor.
At age 32, after a 16-yard gain, Freeman throws, completes. That's Craig Lumpkin. He's in the Cadillac Williams role this year. That's Cadillac. Went on to sign with the Rams. They're calling him down at the 32-yard line. I'm sorry, the 28-yard line of Detroit. And Freeman trying to hurry things with Lumpkin.
I'll tell you, since they've gone to this hurry up, you haven't seen a lot of significant pressure from the front four.
Freeman has to get rid of it down the middle. Off the fingertips of Luke Stocker. The rookie tight end, his first NFL catch, could have been a big one.
And again, there was no gut pressure. Nobody in the face of Freeman. He's got a clear lane to throw it. Gets it right over Tulloch in the hands of Stocker. And he can't hang on. There was a bust in coverage there somewhere because Tulloch's trying to back up and get depth. He was expecting safety help behind him.
That's a guy.
He's got to catch that.
He didn't get a lot of work in the preseason because of a hip injury, and it cost him on 3rd and short. They need about a yard and a half. Freeman, complete. First down, Bucks at the 12 as Winslow hauls it in.
What do you know on 3rd down for Kellen Winslow, right? And he just gets Justin Durant to fall down here. He spun Justin Durant around on that little out cut. Perfect throw from Josh Freeman.
They went on 4th down the last time they were down here, and the Lions kept them out. A fresh set of downs for Freeman. Pressure coming. Graham on the short pass, and he goes nowhere. There were 3 Lions on top of him when he hauled in the football, and Justin Durant didn't fall down this time.
No, Durant sniffed that out from the whole way. I mean, from the beginning of the post snap. Right when that ball was snapped, he saw the lineman let the defensive lineman go, and Justin Durant said, "Oh, screen, go smoke this thing out."
They're not going to get the play off here as the 2-minute warning, and that's a major mistake on the part of the Bucs. They lost some valuable time there. They do have 3 timeouts, but they need to score touchdowns. The Lions have come to Tampa Bay and are trying to get out of here with a win. Detroit leading 27-13. Some of the Lions who battled down in the trenches trying to protect the lead. And the opening NFL weekend continues on Fox. Redskins Giants, most of you will see in the second half of our doubleheader, America's Game of the Week. 3 timeouts remaining for the Bucs.
Got Eric Wright back in the game there on the slot corner.
On 2nd down. Freeman for Mike Williams. Incomplete. It'll be 3rd down. They were battling all the way on that play.
Chris Houston has played some good football today. He had the interception early with the ball skills, and watch his coverage right here. I mean, he is tucked right in the front pocket of Mike Williams. And Mike tries every time with that little savvy push-up, just enough to not get called, but to free himself up. Houston, Eric Wright, Aaron Barry, all of them have really done a fine job in terms of their lockdown coverage.
Chris Houston coming off his best NFL season. Lunk in the back on 3rd down. Bucs are running out of time. Pass complete, but the tackle on Aurelius Ben. The ball comes out at the end right there at the 5-yard line. They're going to call him down.
You saw who hit him, right? Ndamukong Suh.
Tulloch was back there, part of that. It'll be 4th down for Tampa Bay.
Watch the pursuit by Ndamukong Suh here. You see Aurelius Ben, and there he is, 90, spinning, hanging on. Now Suh says, boom!
And the Bucs use one of their timeouts. And Ndamukong Suh said when he was back in college and Josh Freeman was being recruited at Nebraska, and Freeman decommitted and was going to go to Kansas State, they didn't talk for years. They finally reconnected, but he felt like Freeman bailed on him. They talked about winning championships in college together.
Well, because he had committed already and then decommitted. and Ndamukong said he was kind of okay with it, you know, as they played against each other in college when he was at K-State. But talking to Josh Freeman, he had a different story. He thought Ndamukong took it totally free. He goes, man, he thought I just really dissed him. He took it personal.
And now Freeman trying to write the story. Game on the line for the Bucs, trailing by 14 on 4th down and 3. Freeman, end zone, and yes, at the touchdown, Tampa Bay. Mike Williams kept his feet in.
How about the feet? Good coverage, but Freeman throws a better ball nice and high to Mike Williams. He goes up and gets it. Now watch him toe tap both feet. Oh, that is incredible. That is incredible.
Williams 6'2", Barry about 5'10 and a half.
Great throw up high at the back end line where only your guy can get it. And look at him let that lower body die and tiptoe those feet inbounds. That body control for a guy that size is really incredible.
The NFL automatically reviewing to make sure before they can kick the extra point.
Now you kick the extra point, you get your onside team out there, and you kick that onside kick.
1:35 to go. Each team with 2 timeouts.
I think the Bucs are going to learn something about themselves in this game, that we're better at the line of scrimmage with Josh Freeman controlling the tempo and really running the show with the hurry-up offense.
They're going to review the play again. Well, you said it, Tim, even at the half, and from the start of the game, the Lions offense moves so well with Matthew Stafford playing up-tempo. It's a 27-20 game at the moment. Mike Williams, who had 11 touchdowns as a rookie last year, his first this year and in this game. And it certainly looks good. I don't know why it's taking so long for the official review.
Yeah, well, the toes are in. Now, the thing you got to ask yourself as he comes down, does the ball hit the ground and jostle? There's no chance. I mean, that is...
And the official's right there.
Yeah. Should be confirmed.
So the people in Tampa Bay agree with that. And the extra point from Connor Barth will make it a 7-point game.
How much do you love this league and love these games, that this game has been so lopsided in yards, time of possession, the Lions moving it up and down the field, and all Detroit. And here we are with 1:35 to go, and they're going to have a chance for an onside kick to get right back in.
And Josh Freeman, the comeback kid who leaves with a back or kidney injury, runs to the locker room, runs back out, throws a touchdown pass with 1:35 to go. And the onside kick is coming.
No doubt. Remember, you get one shot at it. Goes out of bounds, it's going to the spot. You got to no penalties. You get one shot. You got to get it right. You got to get it if you're Tampa.
Is it altered at all? We know we kick from the 35, but the rest of the team has to be back at the 30 for the kicker. I know some teams tried some creative ways of bouncing the ball with onside kicks.
Well, and you can only have 6 guys on one side of the kicker as well. That rule's a couple years old, but no, I don't think so. I think these guys can get to full speed within 15 yards. There's the hands team out there for the Lions.
And Michael Kanan, who is the kickoff specialist and the biggest free agent, the Bucs, really the only free agent other than re-signing some of their own players.
That's a pretty good number right there. Now, you know the kick's got to go 10 yards for the kick team to recover it.
Unless it bounces.
The hands team can come up and get it before 10, but 4 out of 10, that's a pretty good percentage for Michael Kanan. 10 tries and 4 of them his kicking team when he was in Atlanta were able to recover.
Remember last year in December, it was the Lions who battled back to force overtime before they won on a field goal. The Bucs, after leading 10-6 early, have trailed since and need the ball and a touchdown and extra point to force a tie here. And the average on these kicks, only 15%.
You know what's wild? You talked about guys being 5 yards back. They got 3 guys that are only 2 yards back.
Calvin Johnson is out there, part of that hands team. It's high in the air, and that's who gets it. The big guy with good hands. I would have kicked it away from wherever he was standing.
Well, you don't. That thing just took off on Kanan in terms of going straight up in the air and over that first line and right into the hands of big Calvin. This is that 44-inch vertical jump I was talking about earlier. It's going to bounce once. Now it's just going to go up in the sky. Watch 81 climb the ladder. Look at that. You jump that high, Chris? Back in the day, maybe?
Back maybe with a ladder and a trampoline. And I don't know if I'd come down with the football. But he did. So from the 40-yard line, the Bucs are running out of time, and the Lions have the football in their hands. 2 timeouts for each team. Jerome Harrison goes down right at the 40. Timeout called quickly by Tampa Bay. You know, what a time Michigan. You talk about a great Michigan win over Notre Dame. The three big automakers are making money again. The Tigers are in first place. And the Lions, with all the hope and the optimism. Proud to be a Lions fan today, the way this team came in and was playing.
Well, how long? I mean, we've been doing Lion games for a long time, and they've been through so many coaches and trying hard. And tell you when things changed, though, is when Martin Mayhew came in as a general manager and hired Jim Schwartz, and they got their plan together. And really, their plan mimics Tampa's plan in terms of get the quarterback in Stafford, draft him right away, which they did, and then they come back with Ndamukong Suh, and they got defensive-minded coaches.
And similar to the
telling
Bucs,
you something, the culture, yes, absolutely. The culture has changed, Chris, in Detroit. There's no question.
Harris in the back again. Second down. He wants to stay inbounds, and he does. So the Bucs will use another timeout, and that is their final timeout. I mentioned the Tigers in first place, and of course Stafford, a baseball background. He was actually a catcher for Clayton Kershaw from Little League all the way through high school. They grew up together in Texas. And Kershaw, the Dodger pitcher's having a Cy Young year, and Stafford
looks like a catcher. Look at him.
And Kershaw predicts the Lions he says the Lions are going to make the playoffs. In fact, Kershaw drafted Stafford. He has 2 fantasy football leagues, and he's got Stafford in both of them. And Clayton Kershaw said, I'm going to come in October to see his game against the Cowboys when the Lions take on Dallas.
You think maybe those two scrape a couple nickels together and buy the Dodgers?
They certainly could afford it. Right now, Scott Linehan, he's not worried about Stafford, the baseball player. Stafford, the engineer, who has 3 touchdown passes, overcame the early pick, and is trying to close this thing out.
And man, did he really settle in after that early pick. A couple of bad balls early, throwing off his back foot, and then forget it. He settled in, started standing tall in the pocket and delivering strikes.
Bucs cannot stop the clock. On third down, Harrison is stopped. And so there's a flag on the end of this with 1:16 to go. They're still going at it. It was 4th down after the run.
Boy, what a mistake.
After
this is on Detroit.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 77, offense.
Guster Charles.
15-yard penalty. It's 4th down.
You know how much time that just saved the Tampa Bay Bucs?
That's what,
with
30
Tampa
seconds?
with no timeouts left? I mean, Jimmy Schwartz is going to give him an earful.
And he is right now. That stops the clock, Tim, as you just pointed out, and it really is as good as a couple of timeouts.
That's right. That's right.
And it moves him back further.
Well, he just, Gauser Charles with that penalty just breathed a little more life right back into these Tampa Bay Bucs. And there he is, 77.
So the play is pretty much over.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
And you got Geno Hayes from behind.
That's ridiculous.
So Donahue, the rookie punter who's been steady. Michael Spurlock back to return for the Bucs.
That could end up being a catastrophic error.
It's not over yet. Wisely, he lets it go, so you don't burn off any unnecessary time. And from the 20-yard line, 5 fourth-quarter comebacks last year for Josh Freeman. He's 80 yards away from at least forcing a tie in this opener. And in the 13 wins in his career, 7 have been fourth-quarter comebacks.
Listen, 80 yards isn't easy for anybody, but a minute 7 to go 80 versus about 35 seconds to go 80. What a difference.
Yeah, Guster Charles made it a little more interesting for the Bucs. This is when Freeman said, you have to be a hero. Forget playing within yourself. No timeouts for the Bucs. Freeman. Incomplete. Right at the 30, intended for Winslow. Well defended by the Lions.
Tried to squeeze that right in between some scissors. Look at the 2 defenders just scissor right, cross it up right there. Ball should have been caught.
Second down 10. You need yards. You need to get the ball downfield. You can't waste time doing it. Aurelius Ben, fastest player on the team. The 17 out on the right side. Freeman looks the other way, and he's on the move. Crosses the line of scrimmage and goes out of bounds. Did not get the first down. It'll be third down. Second in the NFL last year rushing among quarterbacks behind Michael Vick.
He doesn't look the same though running now since he put that big kidney belt on when he got hurt earlier.
Missed a series. Josh Johnson came in. Freeman came back out onto the field and has the Bucs within 7 on 3rd and 2.
Got his go-to guy up at the top.
Ben has it. First down. And he goes down. But you can't stop the clock unless you're going to spike it here. 40 seconds.
No, they got a spike.
38 to go.
This is about what they would have had left if Goster Charles didn't commit that ridiculous penalty.
The 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. So from the 34 on second down.
Defensive coordinator Gunther Cunningham there, and there's Greg Olson. This guy's trying to match wits right now. Frankly, it's come down to the players, and Josh Freeman's got to work the sidelines here.
Desmond Briscoe goes out of bounds. Still don't have a first down. It'll be third down, and we're down to 33 seconds. You can see the safeties dropping 20, 30 yards deep.
They're in big-time prevent, running with 4 deep. People back in the secondary, not let anything get behind him, and really challenging Tampa to throw it over the middle of the field. Come up and make the tackle. They can't stop the clock.
Jim Schwartz, the defensive specialist from Tennessee for Jeff Fisher all those years. Greg Olson, the offensive coordinator of the Bucs. Freeman has time, flips it in the air. Ernest Graham has it and has a first down.
Watch this, though.
That was a left-handed throw by Freeman, but the clock is running. They're going to have to spike it again here. 16 seconds left, but what an effort by Freeman. Talk about...
That's why you're 260 pounds. That's when it's an advantage.
There's a flag down at the 48-yard line.
I think Detroit had too many guys on the field. They were trying to get a substitution.
That may be what Raheem Morris is yelling about.
As Freeman was getting up to the line of scrimmage to spike it, it looked like Detroit was trying to shuttle a few different players in.
Defense, 5-yard penalty.
Well, that stops the clock. Troy, they didn't need you when you had Freeman spiking the ball. Moves it up 5 yards.
You hear see Jim Schwartz back up.
They're 40.
Listen, it's not a field goal game. They've got to score a touchdown. Stay back, keep it in front of you.
42 yards away, and you have maybe 3 plays. Mike Williams is out on the left for Freeman.
3 plays if they can work the sideline. Anything over the middle of the field, you won't have 3 plays.
And he's going for Williams, who wasn't even looking. Out of bounds, incomplete. And the deep safeties were waiting. 8 seconds left.
And look at all the guys backpedaling. And look at playing outside leverage the corners, and Louis Delmas out of the picture, just waiting back there playing center field. Catches it, but out of bounds. But you can see what the corners are doing. The cornerbacks are playing what we call outside leverage, so they're forcing everything inside, that if those receivers do catch the ball, it's got to be in the field of play, make a tackle, and chew more time off that clock, and hopefully this game will be over if you're looking at the Lions.
May be the last play of the game, unless there's a defensive penalty or a quick toss. Penalty flag down.
There is no foul for delay of game. We were in the process of resetting the chains. Second down.
So they'll pick up the flag inside the 10. Is there a Hail Mary?
Well, you got defenders on the goal line.
Calvin Johnson is back at the goal line. He made the grab on the onside kick.
Delmas, Calvin Johnson, Amari Spivey.
And And that's where Freeman is going to have to get the football. He goes underneath to Ernest Graham. He's going to keep it.
Got to pitch it.
And he does to Donald Penn.
Donald Penn's got to pitch it.
The clock has run out.
Oh, my goodness.
But the ball is still alive. Winslow to Parker. They're going the wrong way. The Lions have it. The Lions win. And after 4 straight last year, 5 in a row for the Lions. That hasn't happened since the mid-90s. But it took Luis Delmas to close it out. The NFL doubleheader on Fox continues. The Lions win 27-20 in Tampa.